reason, because now I gotta wait and see where the camera is. Blood body.
Put it where you need. Put the table where it's comfortable.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, I know. Welcome to Hey Ron. Thank you for the fireball. Please hold. Welcome to Straight into the Dining Room. DMLoxy presiding, and this is. What are they doing out there? This is Nerevis, and I am fully paying attention to the campaign and not the children out the window. Yeah. So welcome to Nerevis. When we last left off, Rogith, can you hear us okay?
Say hi to,
Okay, perfect.
Runt. Runt says hi.
Oh, Runt, greetings.
Yeah, Ront, you and Grunthor and I are going to have a discussion about some dice rolling things that may or may not continue. But let's give a quick recap of where we left off, since someone wasn't with us last time and missed a chunk of the session before that. So let's catch them up to speed. Don't shake your head at me. I can give my players guff. They come back like good little players.
I didn't say nothing.
And Nerevis finally took Eric out. So, Parisa, do you want to, and Eric, can you give, and Rogith, you want to fill William Cuthbert in? You guys had almost made it to the gates of Calyx when a guard caught up with you and said, hey, there were some issues at the house. Mom wasn't quite strong enough to get everything in order. Older sister was overwhelmed, and younger sister, while she was being helpful, was also getting a bit underfoot. So he went back to set the affairs of the household in order and play mediator between family members.
Because that's the kind of good guy I am.
Upon your finally getting everything squared away, you got a report from a rider who was riding Helfribleather from Fort Calyx saying that there had been a tear in the sky and a giant being claiming to be an avatar of the god of death had descended and was slaughtering everyone. Upon hearing this, you grabbed your own horse and made all haste for Calyx, and you saw smoke rising as you entered the fort.
My 300 orc army / followers, or ogre.
Ogres.
Ogre army / followers became like 15.
Morwen and Trogdor. Morwen, Dor, and Trogdor came out to the tree line to join at the fort, and Morwen, using her Book of Mirren and her charisma skills with the ogres, had convinced a considerable sum of them to turn and follow the goddess Parisa. Unfortunately, the majority of them perished in this fight along with Dor. So Dor and Trogdor are no longer. It is just, in fact, Trogdor once more.
Okay.
Morwen and Trogdor headed back to the orc camps to try and convince them that, yes, this threat is real, and maybe more would have survived if they would have fought together, instead of just a contingency of them going. But you do, in fact, see... You do, in fact,
Thank you, David Omen.
Thank you for the sub. Woo! Yay! You do, yes.
Another baby bird fell out. We found him on the ground.
We're not going to do
Just
too
leave
much
it.
about it.
Just leave it right now.
Stay out of the backyard.
Okay.
Nest precariously perched on the edge of the cedar tree and keep losing babies. We haven't been able to mold these
Well, it's been a week and a half, and at 2 weeks they leave the nest. So it could be that they're trying to
What's wrong?
Fly.
Baby bird
Oh.
came out of the nest again.
Maybe it's just this baby bird's like, nah, this is 2020. This is not my year. I'm not even gonna deal with it. Who knows? It's. Sorry, that was a little.
Dark.
My outside voice happened before my inner filter. Wait, Gabs, you're on camera. Shut up. So on that note, William, you come into the fort and you see many wounded soldiers. You see, as you kind of round the fort, everything's blockaded off. You see a field of dead ogres and piles of ash, and you see Parisa and Eric running around back and forth trying to get the last of affairs in order. I'm going to have him get there as you guys are heading back into the fort.
So my
After
speech
the
never
fight.
happened?
No, your speech happened.
Okay, because after the speech I went back to my room to take care of Erebus.
That's right, you did.
And I was taking care of,
What's your name in the infirmary?
Yep. Isa,
Yes, I was watching over Isa.
who is barely, no pun intended, alive, thanks to an enormous amount of healing and group effort.
You're not aware of that part yet.
Yeah, Ront,
Yeah, no, she doesn't.
I try, okay? I
Occasionally.
try. Well, let me grab that fireball dice before I forget.
Hey, Jaded.
Hey, Jaded.
Hey, Jaded.
So, Eric, you're taking care of Erebus, and you hear on the door. Mr. Eric, sir, William Cuthbert's back. He just wrote in and is demanding to know what happened and is looking for you.
Well, he knows where to find me. Tell him what happened.
Yes, sir. The guard comes running back to you,
I
William.
hate impression.
Eric's up in his room. He'll see you now.
Oh, God.
So, as I'm walking into this barely contained chaos and carnage,
It's post-bloodbath, and of all things, this weirdo from another world has somehow assumed temporary control.
But he doesn't know the other world part yet.
This is true.
so okay, my first instinct is going to be to immediately try and assess the situation in terms of it's the military organizer coming out. So, okay, so who's wounded, how many are wounded, how badly, let's get this organized. Is this kind of thing being taken care of, or is it still basically just a bunch of bodies bleeding out on the ground?
It's kind of taken care of. You see a priestess in Lyricill's colors that is running around with bandages on one arm, and she is kind of forcefully grabbing soldiers that look like they're in shock and daze as they walk by, shouting orders at them. And it looks like she's keeping things somewhat organized inside the fort. Outside the fort, they're all like, yeah, Eric said do this, we're doing this. But a lot of the orders didn't translate to people that were inside that didn't come out when they probably should have.
Okay.
There was a percentage that was still in the fort, and they're still in shock.
Okay, so
She looks like she's damn near her breaking point, but is holding it together because that's what has to be done right now.
okay.
And then she kind of turns and sees you. Where the hell have you been, man? I mean, Lord Cuthbert, welcome. As she stops and considers her words and realizes who, in fact, she's speaking to.
Dispense with the formalities, please. What exactly is going on here, and who is in command?
At the moment in your absence, Eric has rallied the troops and has gotten everyone outside the fort on the same front. He was on the front lines and is in his room resting. Lady Parisa is with Isa. We're not sure if she'll make it through the night or not. Almost every bone in her body is broken. The only reason she's breathing is thanks to the healing skills of Lady Parisa and Rogith. Rogith is also, I believe you were also resting in your room, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Rogith is also in his room. Your father is downstairs he has been prepped for burial.
And that is...
As far as inside the fort, I have been doing what I can. Those who are dead are dead. Those who are mostly dead, I am trying to make comfortable, and I'm trying to see how many I can save in the meantime. What else do you need?
Is there any conflict or immediate threat?
As far as we know, it has been dispensed with.
Do we have sentries posted on the perimeters?
As soon as there are enough well to walk, we will.
Okay, then...
Are they out of the oven?
Yeah. I was just letting them cool off.
There are archers on the corners, and right now that is all the sentries we can spare. Everyone is doing the work of 5.
Okay.
She briefly describes the enemy that came from the sky, and the top of his weapon, of his polearm, was twice the size of Fort Calix's gate. Calling him a giant was an understatement.
Okay. So my immediate concern is going to be... so here's kind of the order that I want to be doing things.
Okay, I'm going to roll as you're talking, and that is a 1. Sorry, Ront.
Okay.
But Calix can't handle a fireball right now.
So, my most immediate concern is anybody that I see as I'm walking around that is in the process of dying, I will use my cantrip Spare the Dying on immediately to at least stabilize them.
You see a few others doing the same, but they're pretty exhausted.
It's a stopgap at best, but it's
something.
It's something. I want to make my way towards where Parisa...
Oh my gosh. Okay, continue on, and then we'll deal with Ront.
Just
Okay. So I want to make my way in that direction to assist in healing. And then I'd like to... Whoever came and brought me the message...
Do we need to move the mic?
Are we... Anybody saying we can't hear?
No. It just...
I would like to send the messenger that came to me saying, Eric is recuperating in a room. Send a message back to him that, thank you. I will see you as quickly as I can. I have to make certain that see to the immediate defense and health of the general populace. What I'd like to do is, as I'm moving towards Parisa, and what was the name of the...
Loxley? Or the laundress?
Yeah.
Isa.
That was the one that was
bear.
all busted and broken. And
yep.
Yeah, okay. So as I'm making my way in that direction, I want to gather 6 of the least damaged competent soldiers that I can.
Okay.
And once... I'm just kind of throwing this all at you at once, just as a general...
Fire away.
So that once I reach that point, I want to get all 6 of them together. I'll take the 10 minutes to do prayer of healing, unless Isa is in absolute danger of dying. If she can wait, if I determine she can wait 10 minutes.
You're not sure. Until you get down there and see her, you're not sure. All you've been told is Rogith and Parisa have both unleashed healing on her.
Okay.
And they're still not sure if she'll make the night.
Okay.
You're not sure how much of that has to do with the fact that she's a laundress and they are, in fact, to a degree, magical infused beings.
Okay.
Or humans that have been born with an unusual amount of capacity for magic and harnessing it.
Okay. Okay, then... in that case, I will include her as one of the 6, and I'll do prayer of healing.
So you're gonna
10
do
minutes.
that down in the cell?
Yeah.
Okay, well, they've turned some of the cells into additional
Sure.
medic areas. Because right now, there's not much for prisoners, but there's a lot for dying people.
Yeah, wounded, yeah. So, emergency hospital. So,
Yep.
include her as part of the 6. The other 5 would be soldiers that
Okay.
are, somewhat close to being fully healed that I deem would be good for sentries and stuff like that.
Yep.
My immediate concern is to get people back on their feet, get those that are dying to stabilized, and get watches posted. Okay? So whenever you
Watches
want me to make
have
rolls,
been, as far as going into the night, watches have been figured out. Like, Eric did good getting everyone outside on the same page and kind of rallying them and verbally slapping them across the face a little bit.
that's good.
They needed it.
That's good. They're soldiers. They expect that, or they go back to being farmers.
You almost have to make a con save when you see Isa. You've seen some wounded people. You've seen battle scars. If you took all the worst ones you've seen and put them together in one body, you're looking at it.
Do you want me to make a con save?
And that was
No.
after 30 points of healing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, she's alive, but you can tell that there's not a whole ton of spark left in her eyes.
Gotcha.
Avoided the battle, you slacker. And you can tell, there's an attempt at humor there. And Paresa's next to her.
Gotcha. Holding my holy symbol of Hylor, I will make sure that everybody that I want to heal here is within 30 feet, and I will immediately begin the prayer of healing, placing my hand on or near her forehead, and speaking prayers to Hylor. Excuse me. Would you like me to roll for
Yes,
HP?
please.
Oh, that's kind of crappy. Alright, initially 9 hit points are returned to each of the recipients.
Okay.
That was-
And as you are doing your prayer of healing, we have had someone redeem some fangs for a song. So Ront, in his infinite justice and wisdom in choosing music, has chosen
Made a request.
Barbie Girl.
Huh?
Yeah.
He's been gone. You're gonna have to tell him what you did.
I did it because of you guys. Because of the rabbit trail. and all
We
that
just
good stuff.
suggested something.
We agreed with it.
If you think I'm going to sing that song, you're out of your mind.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I
But
won't. I'd rather wake up with my head sewn to the carpet.
people
We
can
can
make a
arrange
request
that.
for a song to be sung.
Okay. No, I'm not going to sing Sally Brown.
No.
Eh,
He requested Barbie Girl.
but I'm not going to sing that,
You
so I'll
don't
sing
have to.
something else.
Okay.
How about the Philosopher Song by Monty Python? Does that work?
You know what? Go for it.
Manuel Kemp was a real pissant who was very, really stable. Lord Digger was a boozy beggar, you think you under the table. David Hume could out-consume Wilhelm Frederick Hegel. In Liechtenstein was a beery swine who was just a sausage schlegel. There's nothing Nietzsche couldn't teach about the raising of the wrist. Socrates himself was permanently pissed. John Stuart Mill, of his own free will, on half a pint dish, and he was particularly ill. Played at the say he could stick it away, half a crate of whiskey every day. Aristotle was a bugger for the bottle. Hobbes was fond of his dram. Rene Descartes was a drunken fart. I drink, therefore I am. Though Socrates himself is particularly missed. Ah, lovely to think about a bugger when he's pissed.
I think that trumps.
Somebody
It's
needs
not
to
Barbie
put
Girl,
that.
but damn it, that'll have to do.
We're gonna say that works.
That's all you're getting out of me, that's it.
So 10 minutes have passed.
and that's how your prayer of healing happens.
Yes.
High Lord Lyrical and just you're gonna go with it and do a little Nerevis mashup of that.
Hi, Laura was on free. Anyway,
Right?
I'm half crate of whiskey was particularly ill. Hi, Lord, they say, stick it away, half a crate of whiskey every day. What's the other guys? Wait a minute, what's the other guys? We can do this.
Marasa.
Oh my god.
Was it plugging for the bottle? Hobbs. What's a monosyllabic god?
You got the deity table? Eric doesn't know this.
I don't have a monosyllabic god.
Okay, how about two? What do we got for two?
Hi, Lord.
Oh, that's the only one.
Corindor's 3.
Corridor. Ooh, I'm gonna run into two.
Sandro is 3.
Loxley, you throw
Oh, that's
Loxleys
4.
in there. Throw Loxleys in there.
I'm gonna. Well, it's gonna be too many syllables. It's gonna be awkward. I can't do this. I can't work under this kind of pressure.
It's alright.
Okay, so we did the prayer of healing.
Try DMing for this group. You know what? That's okay. I take that back. I've seen some of the groups you DM for.
You want me to?
No, like bless you kindly.
Yeah, you have to DM for Ron.
I don't have your patience. You've DM'd and had me and Ront in the same party, and you lived.
Actually, I've had all of you in the same group before, and lived, and ran just fine.
Not this group.
Not all of you entirely, but
We're
I've
bad.
had you two and.
I've been in at one point, but never with Joe
Oh,
at the
never
same
with Joe.
time.
Okay.
No, I actually never got to play with these two.
You can play with me anytime you
By the
want.
way, that's what attacked us.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Okay, so after the prayer of healing, is there any measurable improvement?
Isa looks like she is asleep, but she looks like she is sleeping peacefully and
Okay.
comfortably.
Okay. Excuse me. Then.
No excuse for you.
True. I would like to then go about just continue spare the dying, make sure that sentries are posted. Thank you, Lois. And I want to walk the perimeter. I want to see the battleground. I want to see what's going on. I want to see how things are organized. And
Drawer to the left of the oven.
and then after feel like I've got a fairly good grasp, then I would definitely seek out Eric at that point.
Okay.
If he's I was told he was, kind of resting, so I want to make sure that he actually rests. If it was vital, I'm sure he would come let me know immediately.
Perfect. Parisa said that she will keep you informed on Isa's condition.
Excellent.
And you go up and... Do you even knock on Eric's door, or do you just walk the heck on in?
No, I'll knock.
What?
Wait, hold on. Eric.
Eric, it is I, Cuthbert.
Oh, door's open.
So go inside.
Hang in there, Rogus. We're getting there.
It's all good.
This is kind of worth it.
Go inside. Go inside.
You see me nursing my raven.
Okay. Eric, first of all, I would like to thank you for the immediate action that you took in getting these troops, getting these soldiers to do what they should have been doing in the first place. And taking charge of the situation. Thank you.
You are going to hear some very strange rumors, however.
Okay.
And to make sure that you know the truth of it, it's true. I come from a different world.
Okay.
I kind of let that slip in my anger, but I had a vision when that creature came from the sky. Apparently I was to have died in another realm, and this bird saved my life.
Okay.
And I wound up here.
And I mean this sincerely with all due respect. Does it have any bearing on our immediate situation?
I just wanted to make sure that you knew your men were not going daft.
Okay, that which I appreciate, and I academically I am interested. I would love to speak with you at length at some point in time, but this is obviously not that juncture.
No.
So my immediate concern is the health and security of everyone here, and then beyond that, what's our next steps based on available information?
Once the creature was dead, the sky returned back to its normal state. The dismembered parts of the body were thrown in a bonfire, and measures are being taken to bury those that were helping the fort. We lost quite a number of ogres who stood watch in front of Fort Calyx while the men waffled over the fact that this being called itself an avatar of what the hell is that god's name? Your god,
Rasa?
you're not there. Your god, the one of death. This creature claimed to be an avatar of that, but Rogith, being a follower of Marasa, said he was a farce, and we destroyed it. It was not easy.
Have any priests done a ceremony over the even ash that is left from this thing?
I am not sure. Erebus here was in dire straits during the combat, so I returned after scolding your men, returned immediately to nurse her.
When he says Erebus's name, you watch the bird perk her head up, and you hear in your mind telepathically, William.
Okay.
Yes, I have much to talk to Eric about too.
Interesting.
You're just taking this in stride.
Interesting.
I can leave her to rest if you need me to do something.
I think probably if you can recuperate, that would, that would be advantageous to all at this point.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I think that
We do have a plan to head to the Void of the Gods to see if we can get more information as to why this is happening.
now this creature, this being that came down, it, what was the nature of it?
It wanted us to bow, bend the knee to it, and accept his master as our ruler
Okay.
and ruler of all the gods.
Okay.
And I did not get that image. That was somebody else, so I don't know that. But it was easy enough to dispatch of the creature because of some trinket it wore. And at that time, I'm going to pull out the bits and pieces of the brooch.
Okay. Was this...
Do you remember the symbol that was on it? 4 bonus points with your DM. What's that symbolism?
You said that we did not recognize it.
We didn't recognize where it was from, but we knew we've seen it before.
And I did describe it.
Mm-hmm.
Was this being...
Hey, Krabby! Welcome home, babe.
Was this being...
Hey, Grubby!
Or did it
Yeah,
look in any way?
it was undead.
Okay.
Very much undead.
Do we think that...
As a matter of fact, I believe it was a lich.
do we think that undead rising from the carnage is going to be a serious concern?
That is why we're burning it, so they have no chance to.
Okay.
It was Eric's suggestion, you've heard from the soldiers, to burn the corpses just in case.
Yep.
Most of them were like, wait, burn it? Why? So, that was outside voice too, wasn't it?
I don't have any notes on what the symbol was.
I believe it was the similar cross gate things, but there was like an embossment of a, if I recall correctly, of a face that kind of protruded, but it didn't. We couldn't discern, whose face or whatnot.
It was the gates with the keys, but there was a symbol that looked like it was over that or beneath it, hidden within it, and it looked like a combination of runes, but you guys were not familiar with the language that it was in.
And it was a
You know-
ruby set in gold.
William, you had to do a good deal of scholarly crap while trying to become a cleric. Go ahead and roll me religion.
Alrighty. 19.
Wow. Okay, hold on. Now roll me percentile. Because descriptive words.
91.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Nope.
You and Eric with the 90s and the percentiles are going to be a pain in my rear.
That's how I managed to defeat the creature.
It could be 190. Anyway, so.
9 or 19.
Settle down, Taya.
91.
901.
I have nothing to throw. That won't hurt you.
What did you
I
think
trust my
about?
aim.
You're looking at it and you're going, this is the equivalent of the old scriptures of the gods.
Okay.
You recognize the rune for death and another character that you're pretty sure means similar to death or something to the equivalent of death prevailing. You're not 100% sure. You only took Hebrew and Greek. You didn't go into Latin. Krabby, why?
Okay. And this is on this holy symbol?
And this is, but
or
it's
this unholy symbol?
it's behind it almost. Like you have to turn it back and forth and rub your finger over it, and it takes you a while to. It's very much there, but it's.
Okay.
I hate you both,
So
Ange and Krabby.
almost as if there's
Chad is not being
subtle
kind.
layered engraving.
Yeah,
that if
like-
you feel it out, it'll reveal
Oh,
a
this
message.
this is a nice holy symbol. Oh, wait, it goes higher than that number.
Gotcha. Okay. So if you play it in reverse, you can play it backwards, and it, all that. Okay. So,
Did you just say if you play it in reverse, you play it backwards?
well, I was repeating.
He was reiterating.
I knew what you meant. It was just
I didn't
great.
mean it as a pair of linear statements,
That needs to be a quote, Krabby.
If you play it backwards,
If you play it in reverse, you're playing it backwards.
So, I'm glad you know I didn't.
I knew what you meant. It
Old
just
script.
what you said was great.
Okay, so is there? I mean, was that as far as what I've been able to discern? There's an underlying tone of runes in scriptures. It's runes.
You know,
of the old
one of it
scripture of the
is it's two runes overlapsed to create a third rune.
Okay.
Kind of like if you're using Chinese characters
Okay.
or kanji, where
Yep.
the symbol for tree might be a culmination of wood and
Water.
know what I'm
whatever.
stepping in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
You
we've got
know
a rune
one of the
death.
runes creating this is the symbol for death in the old scriptures. And to the best you can tell, the other one is something about death prevailing. But you're guessing. You're making an educated gestulation, as
Okay.
the illustrious bard in the north would put it.
Alrighty. Then, in that case, if there isn't any further critical info at the moment, I would just want to make my way down towards the bonfire to begin casting ceremony and doing the rite, the funeral rite.
Okay. You and Rogath have the same idea there.
Hey, Rogath!
Hey!
Great minds.
Ooh, thank you for the follow.
Thank
And
you.
then whoever's next.
Perfect. You are now caught up. How do you feel? Other than overwhelmed and oh my gosh, that was a lot.
No, actually, that good. Let's rock. Are you ready to rock?
Add a quote. If you play it reverse, you also play it backwards. That is now a quote. Yes.
There we go.
Thank you for the follow.
So happy. All right. Rogith, you are in your room and you hear some commotion. A guard does tell you that William Cuthbert has returned and that he is in speaking with Eric. What is going on in your barbaric paladin mind?
Well, at this point in time, I was preparing myself for casting ceremony as well.
Keep talking.
Basically,
Keep going.
basically meditating on that to get my spells in place for the day.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, being that I know that William is here, that's good news. Because once we are done here, I have a very strong suspicion that we'll be moving with all haste towards the Void of the Gods. So.
Yeah, and how are you feeling about that?
Well,
Let me enjoy this! I love it because when anyone else talks, like their side conversation, people are picking up their phones. Rogan starts talking in his voice, and instantly all the for Parisa and I, our heads are like, we turn into meerkats of D&D.
So at this particular point in time, there isn't much that I'm going to be doing other than concentrating on, maximizing that spell as best as possible, so that we don't get any rising dead afterwards.
Gotcha. I know what you need to do for cosplay for Halloween.
Sardo-Zord?
I was thinking Highlander with the giant house pearl.
I do have a katana. I could probably do it.
Egyptian Spaniard teachings. French Scotsman? Anyway.
Either way, it was great. I want to see the rest of it. Alright, unless anyone else wants to do anything that evening, we are going to go to the next morning. However, Eric, as you lay down for the night, Nerevis does fly over from her little roost, more of a hobble fly than fly, and lands on your chest and goes, are we going to talk about this or not?
In time.
Has anyone ever told you you're a procrastinator, Eric Harwin?
All the best things can...
Wait, his last name is Harwin?
Yes.
Weird.
Why is that weird?
That's just weird.
You guys have never heard his last name before?
No.
No.
It's a very fitting name for him. I am a procrastinator. There are much more important things right now that need to be taken care of, such as your health and the safety of this fort. When we're on the road, we can discuss more.
Hey, Kiwi. Krabby says you're famous now. Yeah, you have a quote. Yeah.
Yes! For the cows!
For the cows.
Thank you, Krabby.
See? Come here.
Yes! Oh, this is happening.
Oh, right
Oh, dear.
Right underneath the cord for the camera.
Okay. Nerevis kind of shakes her bird head, and you can tell she's still tired. She's just eager to... She somehow seems aware that you have remembered more than you did previously, and seems determined to clear the air, as it were, between the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
And seems like she would rather speak bluntly of issues at hand rather than put them off for a later date.
Mm-hmm.
And she likes shiny things because she's a bird.
Bird.
Next morning rolls around, and you are, Parisa, you are awoken by the priestess of Lyrikil that was in the fort, and she brings some breakfast down for you and Isa. Isa is awake and looks better, but it's fairly clear that while she's able to sustain a lot more damage than most beings could, it appears that she's also going to take more time healing. Although many of her limbs seem to have realigned. Thank you for spending the night here with me, Lady Parisa.
I am glad you are still with us.
I think I am as well. I do not know what I will do now that Damar is gone.
It must be very difficult for you.
We trained together for years. I was his sworn protector, and I failed in my duties.
Somehow I do not think he would see it that way.
He may not. However, my life may be forfeit. That is up to the council to decide.
I will vouch for you.
It is much appreciated, my lady. I fear it will be some weeks before that council convenes. I do not know when I will be hale enough to travel, if the council will come here, or if I will be required to go back to Silas.
I used that thought.
From your... Roll me traditions real quick. Because that's just fun. We don't get to use it often enough.
30-20.
Nice. You are aware, because of your schooling that you've had to do as the ambassadress,
Better than
as the
Venus.
daughter of the ambassador,
The ambassador's daughter.
the ambassadress's daughter.
Couple more S's.
That the way that Laundress work is the Knights of Laundress are a group of women that have a very high potential for magic, which is typically frowned upon in the human world. However, they are able to wield the nature side of magic, which has only been a Loxley thing. And they are paired with knights that are exemplary both in character and in prowess, and they train together, each wearing half of a pendant. Once their years of training are over, they come together within a circle of ancient Loxley stones, oddly enough, put the two halves of the pendant together, and the laundress will take on whatever form represents the spirit of the knight that she is sworn to protect. So if he is unduly brave, she may have the form of a lion. If he is unduly wise, she may have the form of an owl. It varies. So they all have a few animal forms that are across the board,
Right.
but they have a unique one based strictly on the character of the knight that they are sent to protect.
Like, they might all have, say, wolf, but one might have a dire wolf.
Right.
Or something like that.
You do know that the current sets, there is a bear, a falcon, a lioness, and a shark.
Neat.
If you want to write that down, you may.
No.
Wait, what? No! No! No!
No?
Character death, character death,
Hold on. Find where my notes went. Maybe.
This is something that William Cuthbert would know as well.
Huh?
So this is something that William Cuthbert would know as well.
Familiar with how to lock.
Yeah, William Cuthbert, you better take notes.
Mm.
Are forged.
He doesn't even take notes.
Hmm?
Nothing.
I take
He
notes.
takes better notes than I do.
I need to organize my notes apparently.
Okay, I'm just gonna give you the rough draft one more time, and then we're gonna scooch onward.
I don't write.
Hold on. I don't know where my notes went.
She just got done explaining how the laundresses work together with their knights and all that.
Oh my gosh, you know what notes are in here? The fight between Aramil, Tess, and Cora.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, we'll talk about that on
We'll
break.
need those. We'll
Yep.
need
Yep. All right. So they are. Okay, I'm just gonna give it to you. Domar and Isa. And Isa had the form of a bear.
Domar, you said?
Yep. Domaar.
And is Isa IZA or
Aizza.
She has to spell it goofy.
actually it's probably how I would spell it, but
I would have
Prettier
chosen
than
that.
Undoubtedly Fireball. Then she would be a phoenix, Krabby.
I like my answer better.
Ooh.
Ash. The next group is Alexorin. Elexorin.
Do be careful of the side effects.
If you get nausea, heartburn.
leaky bowel syndrome.
Right.
Oh. Oh.
And his laundress is Yevai. Yevai.
She's Jewish.
She is! Shut up! And she is the Falcon.
Okay.
Please tell me that her signature attack is Falcon Punch.
Why do I allow you in my campaigns? You're lucky you're cute. Then last, I don't want to keep going because the names are going to get worse and he's going to have comments for all of them.
I will keep my mouth shut.
You're fine. Jasknit and Tamira. Jasknit. Yasnit.
And
Tamira.
Temira. And she is the lioness. And the last group is Rahl. Rahl.
okay.
And Kali. Kaleigh. And she is the shark.
I have a question. Does Rahl teach people stealth and fighting techniques? Rother from Batman.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Rahl is in fact a rogue, you bastard. There are nuggets behind all of my NPC names and the lore that is the actual world, not hoof and trot and stuff that I pull out on the fly, but all the pre-planned stuff. There is so much mixed lore that if you sort it out, I will be impressed. Because you're going to have to cover like 18 mythologies to do it. So good luck to you.
Bear, falcon, lioness, and shark.
Yes.
Okay. No others?
Huh?
No others?
No.
Okay.
There are not many of these. They don't come up often. You know that a potential laundress named Lysine was in the city of Silas. But she had not been paired with a knight, nor did we really know what happened to her. Or do we?
She was a tarp.
Huh?
She was a tarp.
She was not a tarp. She was a plot line that went hook and sinker to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's about time you hit the follow button.
Thank you, Ron.
Thank you for the follow, Ron. Yes, Ron. Well.
Wait, he wasn't following us before now?
Apparently not.
Yeah. I'm kind of
Slacker.
I know.
Be nice to Ront. He's trying. There, Ront.
We appreciate the support.
I don't. I had to be the different voice there.
See, and I was going to go a different direction.
Wait, what?
So,
Wiggly sword? When did I miss that?
okay, so we'll leave the wiggly swords behind.
Hey, Joe Dirt, thank you very much for the follow.
Thank you very
That's
much.
awesome.
Go dirt.
Bottle rockets and cowtails.
He's not gonna let
I
his
haven't
song
seen that forever. Wait, what? What did we? Now where's my song? All right, Parisa,
go. Oh boy.
You got your song.
you're the bard. Go for it.
Every time I try to bard, you always outbard me.
Bard better.
1, 2,
Make it a duet.
I'm a
Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Life is plastic. It's fantastic. You can brush my hair. And we're yes! We're both like, nope, we're not even singing that.
I forgot about that line. Whoops.
Pay-per-view from there.
Come on, Barbie. Let's go party.
Hey, look, I'm a bunny.
That is not how
It's at this moment that I would like to address the adoring public out there. I'm Ben. I'm one of the owners of Double Dane Games. I had no clue it was this kind of broadcast.
Where did you think the rabbit ears came from?
I'm just.
Toss a 20.
I'm
Hey,
drinking
look,
my
I'm a
raspberry
bunny.
bang
What
over
the
here.
hell just happened?
I mean, it was better than a dress.
Yes, welcome Joe Dirt to our stream. We are very friendly, and
We were.
I
We
cannot keep
started
the
out
lie
that
going.
way.
And utterly unhinged.
Okay, so we were talking about floppy swords and laundry.
Laundry cows.
I sure as hell wasn't.
I've never actually read through the lyrics of Barbie Girl.
They're awful.
They're so bad.
I know. Why do you think I stopped where I did? And then we made it worse with 20s and bunnies.
You're the one who said pay-per-view from there.
I couldn't think of anything else that rhymed.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And ladies and
As long as we
gentlemen,
don't get a request
this
to
is
sing Sally
why
Brown.
we're entertaining. I'm just really glad that Twiz and
That one you
Fatal
will get
Pillow
close
aren't
to.
here right now.
Oh my god.
Because I feel like this moment would be so much worse.
Twiz, Fatal Pillow, and Jimmy Man? Yeah.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Alright, so moving forward,
Oh yeah.
We're playing a game.
bite me, both of you. You wake up the next morning,
Great, now that's stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ron. Thank you for that.
Rogith, my wholesome barbaric paladin friend with a sexy voice, what are you doing now that it is in fact morning?
Well,
Are you
did
really?
we
Oh.
did we already perform the ceremony?
I'm a little bit too disappointed in that.
No.
Well, they're weird. They're like, Not weird. Weird isn't the word I wanted there. There's a section of legs.
Here, let me look.
No one show
Are these weird?
He wears these really tall socks.
I mean, they look like
So
legs
there's
to
this
me.
little
I don't know,
section
you know.
where there's no hair.
That's a leg, you know.
I'm not gonna show my legs to the
If
camera.
we don't get a 20 now, I don't know what we're doing wrong.
No, they're not a camera right now.
So, let's,
Oh,
what's Roguth doing?
I don't know. Rogus, what are you doing? It's morning, and you can smell breakfast coming from the mess hall.
Thank you for the nat 20.
Hey, Kazilla. Woo, we have a nat 20. Yay.
I was wondering, did ceremony get cast yet, or
It
were
did. You
it did,
and
okay.
William Cuthbert both did in fact cast ceremony.
They are doubly blessed.
And you get a blessing, and you get a blessing. We all get blessings.
And suddenly we're on Oprah.
Okay. I'm going to gather my supplies and
Okay.
whatnot,
You're
and
gonna sit in?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
I'm also going to walk around and
Thank you.
listen to folks and see where their mindset is at, and reassure them as I'm going by that everything will be fine.
Ron says he'll give us a no nat 1 if you show your legs, Ben. But we're not
no.
that kind of stream. Ront is coming up. Eric and William, go ahead and roll me perception.
$15.
One more.
15, 16. You guys hear Rogat's voice reassuring people that all will be well.
All will be well.
All is well.
Just keep smiling. All is well.
The sound ceremony, as
This is
everyone who's
fine.
ever been in Strahd just had PTSD.
This is fine.
Okay, so he's walking around telling people everything's gonna be alright.
Yep, you
Whatever.
hear that he's on the way to the mess hall. Eric and William, what are you doing? It's morning.
I'm getting dressed.
Erebus is watching.
Okay.
I would
Roll performance.
probably would have risen before sunup and begun morning prayers to Hylor. After concluding that, I would, put on armor, weapons, etc. Gather my belongings, and my first concern is going to talk to the night sentries, see what happened, if anything, what was heard, what they saw, if anything. I basically want the night report.
Gotcha.
And then after that, I'd be, making sure that things are staying secure, and I would want to gather Roguth and Parisa and Eric and the crew, and kind of discuss what needs to be done, what the next course of action needs to be.
Okay, as you are getting nightly report, I'll give them a chance to wake up and do their thing. Roguth is up, Paris is eating breakfast, Eric is getting dressed, Erebus is watching because she's creepy like that.
I would also like to speak with Isa.
Okay, perfect.
I'm not, at this point, I'm still not comfortable leaving Isa.
Okay,
If possible, I would have had breakfast brought for both of us.
okay.
I'll
Breakfast
come
for
in with
both
it.
of you was brought. And
We'll come to you for the meeting then.
we'll get there. Roguth makes his way down, and Parisa, you see Roguth enter the room where you and Isa are. Roguth, take it away.
Ah, good. How is she looking, by the way?
With her eyes, as most humanoids do. However, health-wise, she looks better than she did last night. But you can tell that she's still quite exhausted. Her bones look like they have aligned, but are not healed.
Okay.
So instead of like being broken and bent at angles, now they're just broken.
Okay.
But she still has like the swelling and all
Yes,
that from
yeah.
the bones.
Yep.
I would like to do an insight as to how her spirit is. I know she's probably down and feeling whatnot, but
Yeah, her concern is, at this point, Damar is dead. My life may be forfeit. Why do I have that voice for her? Okay. My life may be forfeit.
She all of a sudden turned into a
She turned...
Vistani.
Yeah, Vistani. Yep, exactly. So my brain was on Erebus and what she's thinking right now. When you're DM, you have all the voices going at once and you just kind of out of the ether with them.
You're not crazy. You just have voices in your head. They're
You have no-
NPCs.
That explains so much. I blame D&D.
It's not voices in my head. It's NPCs.
That's my recalculating noise. I've come to learn this.
Recalculate.
I do not know if I will be summoned back to Silas for trial, or if there will be trial here. However, as it's just the three of you, she takes her pendant off, and she has Domar's half of the pendant. I would entrust this to your party. And it is a pendant that, if you turn it, it breaks into two halves.
Okay, I'm assuming it's her laundress pendant.
Yes, it is her laundress pendant. You know that it cannot... you would know, Parisa, that it cannot be rejoined unless it is a matched pair.
Okay. Do you know where his body is in case we can recover it?
His body is not recoverable.
Okay.
They took it with them. And while they tortured him and killed him, they took surprising care with the body, which is what I am afraid of.
I would fear then that perhaps Eric's concern of them resurrecting the dead for their own use may befall Damar. So we will have to be conscious of that.
Then maybe it is best if they do vote to end my life. I am bound to him, and I do not know if that bond is broken by death alone. If he were to come back undead and command it, I may be compelled.
Perhaps the best...
Krabby, that's amazing. And thank you for the heads up, Rot.
what would be gained by your death?
Tradition. What else?
Some
feels-
traditions I found have no real value
What?
unless they mean something. And in this case, I do not feel that this particular tradition means anything at all.
It was originally meant to keep laundresses from becoming too powerful, or from war breaking out, so one man could not kill a knight and then take a laundress under his control.
I am of the same mind frame, Rogath. Sorry, trying to remember names.
My ears are falling. My ears are falling.
I am almost of a mind of having Isa travel with us once she waiting till she regains her strength, because between our combined healing, that should at least speed up the process a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But I am of the mind to have her come with us.
I would agree.
Because
I would say, my dear Laundress, that your mission is not over. You haven't failed as long as you continue to live and fight.
She seems to be considering something. No. Perhaps my mission is not over. I would request a favor of both of you.
You have but to ask.
I need to speak with Sir Eric's Raven without him present.
I can bring her. Nerevis, or I don't know if that's her actual name yet, do I?
Yes, yeah, you've heard him.
I've
Okay.
used her
Yeah.
name many times.
Nerevis at least has shown that she trusts me.
I can't make Raven noises, so.
I don't think I have. Actually, I mean, is there a small like critter around? Like,
Roll me perception quick.
If it's a proper fort, the most you might find is a rat.
What was that, love?
I said if it's a proper fort, the most you might find is a rat.
it's fine. A rat with
Or
horns.
cats.
Perception.
Yep.
21. I
You
can tell if
see
that was 15 or
a
16.
mouse hiding in the corner under the straw.
I am going to cast Speak with Animals
Okay.
and try
Hold on, wrong ears.
to coax the mouse to me.
How so?
I will kneel down, kind of half facing that way, and I will put a little bit of, let's see here, what would have been brought for breakfast?
Holy moly.
Because Loxlies are mostly vegetarian, right?
They'll eat meat, but they tend to go more towards the grains and vegetables and fruits.
That goes the
I
big
will
spender here.
Some like pieces of fruit and put it in my hand and call for the mouse.
How do you call for the mouse?
Here, mousey, mousey. Hey, little guy.
I'm not a guy.
Little girl, I'm sorry. You're cute.
Aw. Do you think so?
Love the hair.
What do you want? Are you gonna try and step on me?
No, I promise I will
You're
not.
gonna try and step on me!
I'm not going to step on you.
Oh, okay.
I'm not like that. I'm a
what
plant
you-
person.
What you got there?
I have some fruit. Do you like fruit?
I do like fruit.
Do you want some?
She runs forward and pauses.
I will
And then runs forward a little bit and pauses.
place a piece on the floor in front of my hand.
And then grabs the piece of fruit, dashes back to the wall, and then runs forward back to where she was and pauses and kind of side eyes Rogith a little bit.
I'm gonna leave the rest of it in the palm of my hand, but
She'll climb in your hand. So, thank you for this, and he smells funny.
who smells funny?
The guy with a cool voice.
Funny how?
I don't know. When's the last time you had a bath?
Funny or
And this mouse is just going to town on this fruit. Nom 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 nom
That was a
nom nom
hamster.
nom 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 nom.
I have a request.
Yeah,
I have a raven friend,
rock.
and I will describe. She's not going to hurt you. She's not in here. I will describe where Eric's room is.
Okay.
I need you to have her come here.
Okay. How do I know she's not gonna eat me?
Tell her that Parisa sent you, and she won't eat you.
Okay. And she scurries off into a crack in the wall.
Kraken wall? Does it have tentacles?
Eric, roll me perception, please.
It's through the roof. 20.
As you finish getting dressed, you hear just some little scratching and a crack in the wall, and hear Erebust's head, see Erebust's head kind of cock, and you see this little mouse head come out, look around, sniff, and then stare at Erebust. And you see Erebust staring at the mouse.
Okay. I'm gonna go find William.
Okay.
It's a bird and a mouse. I really... Okay. I'm gonna
Mouse
find
goes
William.
back into the wall, and Erebust flies out the door before you shut it.
Okay, bye.
Does my new mouse friend come back?
Your new mouse friend does come back, as all of a sudden you see like this little pile of straw poof up, like when you see a mouse tunnel through snow and you see the little
Yeah.
bird! You didn't tell me that it was a really, really, really big bird.
I told her that it was a raven.
That's a big raven.
True. I will offer her some more fruit. Huh?
We have mail. That was Blue talking.
Mail time. Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail. Mail. I cannot be the only one that
I
knows
love you,
that.
buddy, but that one was your fault.
me. I own it.
Anybody else? Because I feel really singled out right now.
I love
Thank you, Seekers.
Yes, clues.
It's our handy dandy
Notebook.
notebook. Don't tell the kids Steve died of an overdose. Okay, so the original Steve died of an overdose. Or no, not the original one. That was the second one.
I think the second one did.
Okay, like they all ended really darkly.
No,
The first one quit for personal reasons.
I think he got like cancer or something, but he went into remission or whatever.
One of them died. One of them overdosed. Of the four, three of them were like super nefarious. Anyway, moving on.
Well, the Cuthbert family would not have hired them for sure. So.
That's right.
Right, Jaded? Me too. With my kids.
We Cuthberts would not have hired any of them, so yeah.
Wouldn't have hired any of who?
Blues.
Whoever the heck you guys were talking about.
Oh.
They were dying and whatever and overdosing and whatever.
Yeah, y'all are just a bunch of alcoholics.
The Cuthberts?
Your sister's, hits the wine bottle hard.
I don't.
So I went to go find William.
Yes. You find William as he's on his way to your room to try and collect you and Rogath. Erebust makes her way, sure enough, down to the dungeon. And you see her go back and forth with Isa in a language you quite don't understand. Erebust is squawking. Or wait, no, you understand animal speech, don't you?
I could always recast speak with animals if you'd like, but I mean it lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay, if it lasts for 10 minutes, basically Isa gives Erebust the pendants to hide and is trying to convince Erebust to get half of the pendant on Eric's neck because once it's on, he won't be able to get it off.
Oh boy!
And then they both turn and look at you like you're complicit now. You can't tell him.
Something sketchy's afoot here.
You think?
Rogath, William, and Eric, you are now all in the same place and realize it's quiet. Like, where are the toddlers quiet?
Uncharacteristically quiet. I will
Almost feels like the
approach
calm
area
before the
with
storm.
Caution. And hand on the hilt of my broadsword. Not drawn, but just approach cautiously. If I'm approaching and I can't quite see what's going on, it's like dead silent. With all the craziness that's been going on, I'm gonna try and move forward carefully after making eye contact with Eric and Rogeth, and
Yeah, you guys.
move to
You
investigate.
said you wanted to have that conversation with Isa. Correct? Or you're gonna go to Parisa because Parisa's
Yes.
not leaving the.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. The idea was to have a meeting of where do we go from here. What's our next step?
So
Yeah.
when you guys enter, Nerevis is down there and she's sitting to the back of the cell and her feathers are all puffed out. And Isa is laying there and Parisa's sitting there, and Parisa and Isa both look like the cats that ate the canary.
Yep.
RP away, my children.
Oh, and the original Steve did not die of an overdose. He left the show because he was going bald.
That's what it was.
Yes. He left the show because he didn't want to
Kids
go
to see him go
bald.
bald.
Yeah. He is still alive.
Okay, good.
Well, thank God we figured that out.
But there was a rumor.
Okay,
There
well-
was like a TMZ rumor that went around that he died of an overdose.
We'll go on. We'll go on.
I mean, they killed off Gabriel Iglesias one time too. So
Exactly.
anyway,
Fluffy?
okay. So if we've all gathered in the room here, I'll raise an eyebrow upon entering and seeing what looks like surreptitious activities going on, and I will first inquire about Isa. How do you fare, Isa? How are you feeling?
I am tired, but I am healing. I worry now about, as I told Parisa and Rogith, about the council's decision. And I worry of the other Loxlies. I fear they may be next.
You mean the other laundress?
Yes, sorry, Laundress.
as
Loxy Laundress.
as Isa's saying this, Parisa, I want to look at you and make eye contact with you and just kind of, try and, okay, is this, when she's talking about her health, I'm trying
Is
to,
she stretching the truth a
yeah,
little
is she
bit?
BSing to try and, tough it out, or is she, is she saying, no, I am recovered? I mean, you've been there with her, I
Right.
want to know.
No, I'll
She's being sincere.
I'll confirm that she's not.
Just kind of nod at me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you a confirmation that yes, she is indeed starting to heal. It is going to be a.
Okay, that is excellent. So what is the... Alright, so... What are the outer defenses of Fort Calyx? Are they intact? Can they be made intact? Or does this place need to be abandoned?
No, they are intact. The walls are intact because of the ogres. Like, the
Okay.
ogres drew the attention of this thing
Okay.
on them. The rear gate has been badly damaged, but they have already begun repairs on it.
Okay. Do we have a time estimate as to when that will be completed?
Within a week. I mean, they had spare gates down below. I mean, they would estimate within a week that the fort will be back to pre-attack. The
Okay.
gates themselves can be done by the next day. They were smart enough, because of your father's...
Foresight.
Yeah, that's a good word for it. That they had extra doors and gates already made down in the armory.
Okay.
They had extra battering rams, extra... The bar that goes through the metal things that hold... Why can't I think of it? Do you know what I'm
Crossbar?
talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah!
So, What
They got extra stuff down there.
what was the pre-attack size of the garrison?
Pre-attack size of the garrison. Are you talking soldiers or total life?
Soldiers. Those that can raise a weapon.
350.
And what is it currently? Able to bear arms and
221.
221?
Say the actual the actual forces of the fort from the attack of the Lich didn't take much.
No, they really didn't. There were
Okay.
some outside the gates, but the vast majority of casualties were in fact ogres.
Okay.
That was also something I got on them about because they didn't launch a single attack while we took out the Lich.
They panicked. They saw the ogres attacking the Lich. The Lich turned his attention from the fort's gate to the ogres, and instead of hitting from the side, they held.
So, of the 350 that we started with, we've got 221. That is able to bear arms?
Yes.
Okay. Of the...
And I'm going to say a lot of this you are having in private conversation with those that have stepped forward to best serve as captains in your absence. And Eric and Rogath, if they desire to be part of it. Because at brass tacks, you're getting the fort to a place where it can run on its own when you leave, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Of the 129 difference between 350 and 221, how much were dead and how much were casualties?
42 were casualties.
Oof. Okay. And then
30 were deserters.
okay.
And the rest are wounded, and they expect to be back within a fortnight.
Okay, so it'd be 42 dead?
Yes.
Okay. And then the balance are wounded casualties. Okay. 72, so we've got 55. So we've got 55.
As William's talking to Isa, Eric, go ahead and make me a dex save, please. What'd you get?
24.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Do you have Erebus sheet?
Yeah.
What's her dex?
Less than mine.
Right, but what's her dex?
+3.
Okay. I'm gonna use that nat 20.
We're not in combat.
I'm the DM. Her total's 19. I am gonna let you. The nat 20 is still on the table because we're not in combat. I am going to. I don't know. Maybe she's feeling feisty and wants to fight. Who knows?
I'll grab a tennis racket.
She'll say thank you.
Oh my. Yeah, family friendly.
And attempts
close
to drop some sort of necklace pendant on a leather thong over your head. And instead you catch it.
What's this?
A gift.
Why? From who?
That's a 19 wait, what's her persuasion? Because that's a 17 on the die.
That makes it a 20.
20 persuasion. It is a gift from Isa and myself.
Why?
For your help with the battle yesterday. It was Domar's, and she requested that it be given to you, as you are honorable.
I don't know about that. I just did what had to be done.
And she picks it up in her beak again and tries to
whatever.
Do you put it on?
No, I let her put it on.
Roll me a con save.
9.
Too bad we're in combat. You can't use that net 20. Sorry.
Does anybody want anything from Culver's? Tria's running there.
Oh,
This chair is squeaky.
Very.
Oh, it's because it's missing the crossbar.
Look at colors real quick.
Side note for ice cream.
gotcha. Thank you for the heads up.
Yeah, I double scoop of chocolate.
No. I will skip.
No ice cream for you. Okay.
I didn't see that either.
I have the other problem.
Let's see. Sorry, how close are we to?
Half an hour.
Yeah. I
So
don't
what
really-
happens with my con save?
Yeah, I'm getting there. So I'm trying to decide if I want anything or not. Ask her if she'll just grab me chili. Just a bowl of chili. Chili sounds good.
So what happens with my con save?
Give me half a second. Actually, Eric, you and I are stepping away from the table for a second.
I'm going to the principal's office.
No, maybe it's not bad.
Maybe it's a fun principle.
You done screwed up, boy.
No, not the paddle.
Oh my god!
For those of you watching at home, yeah, it is the paddle. Okay, so with 42 dead, that's roughly 8.3% dead. Casualties was only 55. Usually in an engagement, there's a lot more casualties. Casualties are just anybody that's not dead but is injured or incapacitated in some fashion. So,
But like Gab said, a lot of them stayed back.
oh yeah, no, I'm just.
And I'm not sure how many of those numbers are from the fight before when Benjamin Cuthbert died.
From what I'm, unless I'm mistaken, from what I gather, these numbers are just pre the attack with the Lich.
Maybe we'll have to clarify because I know there were some
Deserters?
not deserters, but some fighting from before the Battle of the Lich.
Okay, like skirmish level type stuff?
I think so.
Okay. 30 deserters, I mean, we're going to have to put out warrants for them right away. We can't have
Did
people...
you enjoy your paddling?
I did.
We can't have people deserting. So we're going to have to put out warrants for the deserters right away. 42 dead. We have, you know, those will have to
Are
be
the
seen too. And
I need some water. No, continue talking.
okay, so just quick clarification. The numbers 350, 221, 42 dead, 30 deserters, 55 casualties. Is that all in relation to the engagement with the Lich, or is anything from prior to that?
Some of that is prior.
Okay. Okay. So we want to issue warrants for the 30 deserters, just a general warrant for the deserters that need to be brought to justice. That's unacceptable. We need we're going to see to the care of the 55 casualties, make sure they are cared for. Of the... That's a big 221 that we have that are able to bear arms.
Mm-hmm.
Now these figures do not include like workers and that kind of thing, correct?
No, this is straight soldiers.
Okay.
I asked if you wanted soldiers or life, and you said soldiers.
Yep. Just clarifying. So
I did in fact answer the question you asked, good sir.
Yes, you did. So of that 221 soldiers, what I want to do is I want to make sure that all watches are doubled.
Okay.
And I kind of want to divide it into thirds.
Okay.
So let's double up on watches for sure. We'll have using a third of the soldiers, so that should be more than enough people on watch.
Yeah, no kidding.
Then we'll have 1/3 that's getting rest, sleeping, etc. And then the other third, I want them to doff their armor and assist all the laborers in the repairs of the...
Okay, you get the
fort.
logistics set aside, and then you have this conversation. You're having this with the group, right? Because you said you wanted to speak to the group about what your next move is.
Mm-hmm. So... Okay, so in terms of this unholy symbol, what I can discern is that we've got layers of engraving and inscription on here that put together, or kind of separated out, and I'll try and point it out. This is old scripture of the gods.
I thought I sent a picture to group chat. Maybe I didn't. I don't think I did.
And this one is the rune of death. I'm quite certain. And this other rune, I believe it relates to death prevailing, although I'm not entirely certain on that. After pointing it out to everybody, if anybody else has a better idea.
Do I have any recognition for these runes?
Or myself?
You know what? Rogith and Parisa, go ahead and roll me... Rogith, roll me religion or traditions. Either one. Whichever one is higher, or...
So, help me explain to them what happened.
Yeah, sorry. I'm getting back to that because things went a little sideways there for a second. DM brain help. Eric,
16.
You failed your con save, and Parisa, William, and Rogith, as you guys are talking, and this pendant goes over Eric's neck, you watch as Eric and Nerevis both stock still, almost like when a chill hits you and you kind of stiffen, and Nerevis drops to the ground and begins to shake. Eric, you fall to your knees, completely overwhelmed with the sensation of strength roaring. Hey, banana! Just rolling through you in waves. Your strength score permanently goes up by 1, and your con score permanently goes up by 1.
Nice.
Nice.
Immediately upon seeing you fall to your, to one knee or to your knees or whatever,
You're gonna rush over and...
Oh, okay. Yeah, immediately, Eric, are you all right?
I feel strange, but I do not feel wrong.
And
I
then
should be
you
okay.
all realize there is a leg in front of Eric's kneeling form. It is a very attractive leg, attached to a very attractive torso. And where Nerevis fell, there is no longer a raven, but a beautiful woman with long, raven black hair.
Is she close?
She is not.
I'm gonna immediately take off my shirt thing, whatever.
Your cloak.
And, yeah, thank you. That's the word I was looking for.
And I'm going
And-
to interrupt you, Rogan.
Huh?
Don't worry, she's okay being naked.
I'm gonna cock my head and be like, I'm gonna give you just one of those looks. It's just like,
As she well should be. She's freaking amazing for a raven bird thing.
Thank you for the resub.
Thank you for naked ravens. Resubs.
I am going to reach into my bag and pull out some traveling clothes.
That are probably not her size.
She can make them work.
Okay.
I mean, they might get a little stretched out, but
And just hand them over to her.
In the name of Hylor, what is going on?
and she
William Cuthbert, meet Arivist.
and she takes the clothes from Eric, holds them over her with one hand, and reaches out to shake your hand with the other.
You shake her hand.
Now, if you gentlemen would mind turning your backs for a moment. Or not. It's no matter. He's not wrong.
I'm already
And she just
bringing my
immediately starts dressing.
At least she's dressing.
I am. William is deeply concerned because there's been a couple of things that have happened here that, in light of everything else that is going on, he's about ready to start swinging his mace. So, he's not going to avert his eyes. He's not looking at her with any kind of puerile or lewd.
Right.
Flash neither,
You're being cautious,
but-
not.
So, where did you come from? Who
the
are
bird.
you? Well, I understand that she's the bird, but what is?
Remember I said I came from another world?
Yes.
She is Vistani, one of the residents of that world. She
Okay.
has, or had, the ability to transform, much akin to this young lady, as I point to the laundress.
Mhm.
Much akin to her, she can shift her shape between that of the young lady you see here and the raven form. She gave
Yes,
her
Banana,
life-
we'll get there.
She gave her life, or at least how I remember it, she gave her life to save me from losing mine, and that is how we both got here. Apparently, putting on this necklace allowed her to change back into her normal form.
Oh, do not thank me yet. I think we have to thank Lady Isa, who I expect may not be with us much longer. And Isa's breathing is shallow, and she's smiling.
That cunning little butthead.
And you guys all come to the realization that Isa has essentially given her magical abilities as a laundress,
Mhm.
the power that her and Domar had, is now Eric and Nerevis's.
Okay.
You must tell no one. They have not been formally trained in the ways of man. They will kill them both. But this is the best way to protect you, and you had the best chance of going and finishing this mission. If the gods are at war, you need magic as well as brute strength. And Isa's looking at you, William, like, yeah, that's right.
I'm.
She looks like she's expecting you to be the one that bucks this decision.
Why would they kill
I mean,
me?
I don't understand the exactly what is going on here. My first and primary concern is for the safety of Fort Calyx, its residents, the surrounding people, my family estate, and then nations and peoples as we go here. If you two, meaning Eric and Nerevis, if you two are going to be an integral part of protecting that, that's fine. And I welcome that. I think what we need is an idea of what the next step needs to be here. Where do we go from here? I will not leave this place until I know that everything is secure and that there is a competent leader in charge.
That would be the first course of action. The next course of action, from everything that's been brought up since I came to this world,
That's okay.
we're heading to the Void of the Gods. Answers should be found there for what in the world is going on and why things like this are happening. Come on in, sweetie.
So, quick recap for you, Banana Hammock. If you've been out for, bless your soul, if you've been out for a month, the good news is that the past episodes are up on YouTube. Otherwise, we did have a session or two that we did not play. Last session, brass tacks, it was a lot of combat. They got attacked by a lich. There's a lot to recap in a month. I will try and post something potentially on Twitter. Yes, you can comment on how awesome that beard is.
Thank you. I have been working on it for years.
Nuh-uh.
I can vouch for that too.
No.
It is pretty good.
They're being sarcastic, sweetie.
I'm being sarcastic.
I know. But
So do you just want to here, Banana Hammock, I'm going to do you a favor, because I know, if you were here, this would be what you want to do, and it gives me an excuse to do it. It is, in fact, very fluffy and luscious.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Thank you for that. No, you're good. You're good. Link to the YouTube. Thaco, can you...
Yep, I got it.
Perfect. Also, actually, it's kind of the perfect time to say this. Because my players, I don't believe, are even aware. Nerevis is, in fact, being written in book form as my players play. The book is I think I'm 3 sessions behind right now. It is not 100% true to the campaign, but as it moves forward, I will definitely be contacting a couple people that have DM'd me about the lore, going, hey, thoughts? So, yeah, moving that forward. Krabby, you're amazing. Well, before I say you're amazing, let me look at that. Okay, Krabby, you're amazing. I was waiting for that to be a link of me getting scared or something like that. I am Ront, and this campaign actually started out as a book series that I was writing, and then I turned it into a D&D campaign, and it's gone every which direction except for the ones I thought it would. But it's been good. It's definitely left me with a lack of writer's block, as soon as I am like, oh, well, what happens here? Oh, let's throw that up to my players and see how they can screw this up. It's been good.
No one never thinks to look at their feet.
Tries just to get out with Silas.
It did. It was... but you ran into that one guy with the hunches and the horses and from hoof and trot, and here's that nice looking lady coming back to visit.
No.
Goddess! I don't know if I can do that in that voice for long. Woo! And then do not forget your blacksmith friend who made the filigree for Lufra and the horses.
And the box.
And we're not talking about the box. Why you bring this up? You know this upset your mother and I. So this is my life. I'm 32 and this is my life.
Well, wait. Considering Ben, are you wearing a pony? Wait, which one did the ponytail flip? I'm guessing
Good
mine, Joe.
question.
Oh, it was probably, I don't know.
That was good.
Cheers, bro.
I don't have a good ponytail.
Your ice cream.
Oh my gosh, this.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Maybe they're born with it. So all right, Rogan,
Maybe
let's see your hair flip.
Hmm?
What are we doing?
Oh, she asked Rogan to do her hair.
No, we've got two with a ponytail right now. It just might have been hard to see.
Okay, so as I said, the best course of action after getting the fort set up is to make our way to the God's Shelf, the way of the gods, because
Wrong campaign!
there's been way too many things pointing in that direction.
The Void of the Gods is further to the northeast,
Yep.
and so we've got.
I'm also very adept at making my way through swampy terrain, which is what's going to be between here and there.
Okay. So the swamp of Isop? Isop?
Essus. Or Essup. Essups.
Okay. That is. No, on
Tables.
my map here, we've got it on one side. Does it extend to the other side?
You're not sure.
Okay.
All maps of that area are vague and a
Okay.
lot of educated guessing because
Spitballing at best.
people keep dying for some odd reason.
Well, that'll do it.
Right?
Do we have a nearby pass through the mountains? Do we have any lore as to are there any routes that would be traditional or better or just
No, it is not considered a civilized route. The swamp is considered to be the root of evil. All the evil characters that have ever been coming out, as far as things of nightmare, things that don't exist in this world, like ogres and goblins and hags,
Okay.
things undead this world has never seen, have begun crawling from this swamp.
Okay. So we need to get around or across the mountains and make our way
Sounds
in
good,
this
banana.
direction. Let's see here. Now the scale was pretty good size on here, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
So
it should be at the bottom, but I believe an inch is 200 miles.
Okay, inches 200 miles.
I believe it should say at the bottom. Otherwise,
Yep. Yeah, it looks like it does. So it looks like we're, as a crow flies, or as the raven flies, as befits. We've, it's about 300 miles roughly.
yeah, sounds about right.
Okay.
That's going to take us a day or two.
So
You do have horses as well.
horses are going to be crap in a swamp.
Yes, they are.
So, are we
So, never-ending story. Anyone? Just throwing that out. Horse in a swamp.
Too soon.
What about,
Too soon.
what about the waterway here?
Could we take a barge up?
You're not sure if anyone's ever tried. You can begin to talk to the soldiers. We are roughly 10 minutes from break. I am going to put us to break slightly early, and we'll take a little bit shorter of a break. Just so we get a chance to eat our ice cream. I'm going to go over a few map logistics with the players, and then we will be back for the second half of Nerevis. Meanwhile, back at the ranch. Alright, we will see you guys after break. Alright,
Adios.
thanks guys. What am I hitting? 3?
3.
3. Hey, and we are back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dragons in the Dining Room. This is DMLoxy presiding, and this is, in fact, Nerevis. Give me 2 seconds here to reorganize my life.
No.
And you're done.
Oh my gosh. The back of my dice must look delicious to y'all. Yeah. Oh, babe, you still got some.
I know I do.
You're going Gandalf on me.
You know? I wanted white hair, but I kind of went there a little fast.
Okay,
You guys are
nothing.
drunk.
See if I can wake up enough to continue this campaign. Alright,
We
so
believe in you.
the party decided that they were going to inquire about taking the waterway up to the Void of the Gods, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Eric, do you want to toss me your map real quick so I can put it up on the camera?
You might want to take it out of the sleeve because the glossy will be kind of...
Oh, yeah, I suppose. So they are... Actually, if I hold it, can you point, Eric?
Really?
Where you guys are at Fort Calyx and where you're headed?
We are somewhere over here.
Hold on. No, you're not. You're there.
Gotcha.
Where
Alright,
it says...
so we are here at Fort Calyx, and we need to get way up here to the Void of the Gods,
Wait,
and we're going to take the river all the way up.
that doesn't look great. Ouch.
It is right.
Ow, that hurt. Hold on. Yeah, okay. I guess that's right. For some reason... Wait, we're gonna take the river?
Yeah.
Or take the river into, like, is
We're
that
gonna use-
ocean?
We're going to, or sea or whatever.
I don't want to be another way in the
I just want to see how feasible that is.
That is, yeah, that is what we're going to inquire of.
That hurt.
I can get you.
No, I'm stubborn. I'm going to deal with it.
Okay.
Then use a pillowcase.
I'm stubborn. I'm going to deal with it. I'm just going to whine about it.
Okay, you have two options.
Honey, you're just as bad.
I'm just gonna sit here and eat my burger. You know?
So who are we going to talk to about getting to the Fisher Village and up to the Sea of...
The players did find out that there is a fishing village, thanks to William Cuthbert and his family's knowledge of the area. There's a fishing village of Finley. What?
Do they like fish head stew? Or fish head soup?
No,
Oh, okay.
but they make lefse.
That's Norwegian.
Yeah.
I bet Slimmen's Salmagundi wagon is there. Some good stuff. So,
They like
if anybody
colored white
understands
in it?
that reference,
Right?
drop it in chat because I'm curious actually.
Say it one more time for chat.
Slimmen's Salmagundi wagon. Name the publication that came from, and I will grin very suspiciously at the camera.
Right.
All right, so you are headed towards. You know that is. If there's a way to take the water, that's the place to do it.
So it's going to be. Here's the deal. As a crow flies, which we wouldn't be taking that anyway, we're looking at 15 days over land. We're probably looking closer to 10 and a half across the water.
Assuming the waterway is not
Navigable.
treacherous.
Yeah. So it'll probably take approximately a day's journey to get to the village of Finley. So let's not assume they're going to have much in the way of excess in terms of rations and stuff. What are the stores at Fort Calyx like?
They are equipped.
Thank you,
They
Jade.
could. Thanks, Jaded. They could withstand up to a 3-week siege
Okay.
if needed, which, considering the timeline and everything that's been going on, that's pretty darn good. The attacks that have come have been straight to the fort. The farms that have been outside of Silas and scattered around the Cuthbert estate have not been hit. The fields have not been salted, crops haven't been burned, none of that. It's almost like whatever's attacking isn't intelligent enough to plan ahead, or hasn't been. It's just been, there's the fort, rush the fort. There's the fort, rush the fort.
They're not raising the countryside.
Right.
Let's hit it.
The Doliacs have made it.
Let's hit it harder. Let's hit it even harder.
Okay.
They're going straight for the keeps.
They are. They're not taking the towers and the camps first and resupplying.
All right. So it's going to be Parisa, Frieza, Eric, Erebus, Rogeth, and myself.
I love World versus World. I'm sorry.
So we've
that's
got a
my
party
jam.
of 5 people.
Party of 5?
Let's plan on a 30-day round trip.
I will be very capable of using the land to help us survive if need be.
That'll be great to supplement rations, but let's make sure we each have 30 days worth of rations on us. I can create water,
Which will be useful.
which, drinkable water for us. So we're just going to assume that this entire area we're going into is absolutely hostile. That's kind of what the rules are.
Hey, Twiz! That is a fireball. Let me roll the die.
Good.
Parisa, I don't think anyone can judge your honor.
Doubt, Your Honor.
Oh, ow. No, this is going to hurt.
Heal!
That's why I chose you.
Thanks. I love you too.
Love you too.
It's a 20.
Okay, what, we just got fireball?
We just got fireball.
Alright, hold on, Twiz. Let me figure out where this fireball is hitting.
Twisted right?
Yeah, that's dumb.
I have some very colorful metaphors that I'm going to assault your ears with at some point, not on this broadcast.
I still have my drink. I'm good.
I think I should do some post-processing and just do beep, 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 beep.
I just had ice cream. Please don't torture me with that.
I'm not gonna be.
Or should it just be one
Dude.
solid beep?
For me, it's got to be one solid.
Okay,
beep.
gotcha.
Alright, Thaco, do you want to explain why we're being tormented?
Oh yes, for those of you who have not heard about the newest development here, whenever we are successfully struck by a fireball, those of us who wish to are going to partake in a fireball. Because Twiz, in his infinite glory, gave me that idea, and I worked with it.
Twiz, not you.
Yeah.
Well, partly you, because you
Partly
worked
me,
with it.
because I
So
agreed.
you're half dink.
I'm half dink.
And then Twiz, you're full dink.
Dink. Yeah. Does that make me dick or ink?
All I can think of is the, Jawa people from.
Yes, the sand
Pick your
people
poison,
from.
gentlemen.
Dink, dink.
Dink, dink,
Ding,
dink,
ding,
dink, 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 dink,
What color do you
dink,
want?
dink.
ding, 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 ding.
Are you partaking? Are you
I have
partaking?
my own drink.
Oh, this is the...
cinnamon.
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 It goes down. It goes down.
Oh God!
What?
And there's another magic burst on the table.
Hasn't hit me yet, thank you.
It was going this way.
Thank you, High Lord.
She just crop dusted.
I would like to offer a prayer of thanks to High Lord, whose infinite wisdom has shielded the faithful William Cuthbert from this assault from the Nine Hills. And may it be repelled back upon the originator tenfold with sauerkraut, baked beans, and Brussels sprouts.
Amen.
Thank you.
At least it
Can we, Parisa, let's get a hallelujah out of you. Come on.
Hallelujah!
There we go.
Oh my
All right.
Now we're going Southern Baptist. All right.
Be it so.
And the fireball is cheers.
Cheers to the
crap, right?
fireball. 3,
Oh.
2,
That's cinnamon.
1, go.
I like it because it makes my tongue feel numb for a moment. It's not bad.
You good?
I would like to point out that they taste like hell with a burger.
I just had ice cream.
At
That's
least
why I'm not.
Oh, well,
That's why she's drinking
So,
the other drink I mixed
This
her.
is a DC 15 dexterity save.
Yep, so everyone roll me
Did we ever
a dex save.
Did
What?
we ever figure out that as a plant person, do I have
Vulnerability to fire.
yeah. Not to tell the teacher we had homework.
No, but yeah, you do.
But I was about to say,
Yeah.
I kind of like that flavor text.
And that's one of the reasons I'm really...
Oofda.
Is it a 1?
No,
No, but it's
it's
close
a
enough.
5.
I'm really grateful
Better
that you
than
are... I'm sidebarring slightly again. I know you guys love that. that you're playtesting this for me, because you're not afraid to go, no, let's add a detriment. You know, you're not straight out, hey, let's make this as overpowered as possible so I can be elite and smash things with my Spore Bat.
Honestly, I
Like-
think it makes sense because most...
If you caught the Spore Bat reference, you're awesome.
I like it, but I guess one thing to consider too is what other actual like playable race has an actual vulnerability.
Not a whole lot.
Drow.
Sunlight.
Which most
But-
DMs throw out the window anyway.
I mean, I'm
Because Drit said.
I'm kind of guilty with that with Nilo, but we also played with it and it wasn't a
Right.
Huh?
Just such turkey.
So I'm going to put that
Oh.
on my features.
So how much damage did you do to this?
Oh, no, I'm recovering from the fireball. Thanks, Twiz. You're
peach.
great. I just dropped one in the bag.
Good shot.
Twiz.
What was it? It was a
Harikose.
El burro sabe más que tú. Durvishta.
How much damage did you do?
Ganula did.
Yeah, I rolled a
You and your noodle
total
day.
of 11.
Yeah, so you fail.
I've done that banana hammock. It's a lot of fun. The human Viking berserker.
I mean,
Okay, so that is 28 damage.
which I take
Normally-
double, correct?
Halved if you save.
So 56.
I did not
Oof.
banana hammock. It was played in a previous game.
So that does technically only drop me to 1, correct?
yes,
Yeah,
that was
you
the
cannot go
fireball,
any
okay.
lower than 1.
Yeah, because that is 56. That would only be
It was-
only be 8 points less than twice my hit points.
Yeah.
It was 56 points of damage?
It is, well, it's 28. Rogith, it was, if you failed, it's 28. Because she's a Loxley and she's made of plants,
Oh,
she
okay.
takes double. Otherwise, if you rolled over a 15 on your dex save,
Which I did not.
then, yeah, if you saved, you're taking 14. If you didn't save, you're taking 28. And if you're Parisa, you're dead.
You have been to a Chris.
You forgot about one other person. Nerevis is down to 1 hit point too.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, she's in human form, but yeah, no, she is down to 1 as well. As all of a sudden, Isa goes, something's in the air, and then everything erupts. And Rogith, William, and Eric,
Mm-hmm.
the 3 gentlemen, you hear a delicate feminine laughter. But I need you guys to roll me an insight, you wise gentlemen, you.
I am more concerned about Nerevis than I am about Tinkerbell laughing in my face.
She's
like that.
laying there breathing shallowly on the ground as this instantly, Isa barely had a chance to say anything and flames erupted everywhere around you.
Insight 18.
Okay, Rogith, what'd you get for insight?
22.
Damn.
Nice one.
And Eric, are you rolling or are you just...
I am more concerned about Nerevis'
Okay,
well-being.
just double checking.
I set my ring.
Right here, babe.
No, my ring.
Oh,
I took it off while painting.
I need to go enter.
I should probably wear mine. It's
Give me a link.
like, no, not like that. Like mine, it's because it's Black
Send me
Hills
a link
Gold.
to the YouTube.
When I'm cleaning and stuff, I can't have it on because...
Send me a link to the YouTube.
Discord?
Oh, that's a fun camera
Private link?
angle.
Yeah.
You might want to sit up, Sam.
Oh gosh.
It's
Hello,
perfect.
and
Thanks, Gabs. Thanks.
bad. It's good. It's just I didn't know if you wanted to share.
Thank you.
I didn't want to be alone.
Well, yeah, but we had the decency not to point it out to you in front of
Y'all
everyone.
didn't know. And okay, when it's been my how many times have I been DMing and stood up to look at the map?
Okay, yes,
And
but
you
that's
haven't
on,
said.
that's on you because you should know better because the camera's right there.
So what was this Tinkerbell laugh that we heard?
You heard a feminine laughter. Roguth and William, with your insightfulness, you hear something behind it. You hear that same delicate feminine laughter, but there's almost a growl behind it and a deep, earthy laughter. Like, you hear that underneath the delicate laugh. But only... Settle down, Dr. Claus. Settle down. Go pet a kitty. Oh.
Oh, that was it.
Oh! Now do that in Sean Connery. Go! I'm ready. I'll get there when I get there. I'm enjoying this. Isa is no longer.
Mm-hmm.
Nerevis is rough. Eric, you immediately are.
I'm on trying to make sure she's alright.
She's badly burned, but she is alive and barely conscious. Parisa does not look well. The flowers that are part of her hair are wilted and singed. There's like a petal or two that fall off, and
My kudzu flowers.
yeah, you know when you try and burn wood that's far too green?
Ooh.
That smell is in the air.
Well,
Oh, middle names are about to go down.
I would like to immediately begin prayer of healing
Okay.
and gather everyone around me.
Yeah, it's 30 by 30. You're good.
Yeah. And myself included, that's 5, so...
The crops were dusted and you lit a torch.
Nice.
that's a good one. Alright, so 19 hit points. Everybody gets 19 hit points back.
Nice.
woohoo! Thank you.
Everything okay?
I tripped and fell.
Who? Which one of ours?
The one that can't lie.
Caden?
Kiara.
19 hit points back, good sir.
Oh shoot, that brought me right back to full.
Erebus too.
Brought her back to full.
Excellent.
I will have to get you a human version of her character sheet,
Okay.
and then we'll discuss,
More.
who's going to be controlling her if you want to argue with yourself in different voices or...
I'm a DM, I'm used to it.
That's fair.
Okay.
Zafina,
Zamina.
Zamina, and Warren.
Yes!
The Etten.
The Etten is my favorite, and if you can ever do that again, like, I will...
That was fantastic.
Yeah. For anybody who missed that, I will try and find out where that happened. But it was the guild challenge.
Yeah,
That
so
was not on stream.
correct.
It wasn't?
No, because it was in the guild challenge that we failed because of the gillyweed.
Oh, that was so stupid. Oh my gosh.
Now,
But that Etten...
with everybody in this room, Isa is now dead.
Yep.
Erebus and I are back to full health. You still look a little bit rough.
Mm-hmm.
Isa looks peaceful, however. And she's dead, but there is no... What?
Continue. It would just... The way you said it just sounded very matter of fact, and
I know, right?
It made me chuckle. Not a criticism or anything like that. It was
the way it was said.
It made me chuckle. Yeah.
I found a body.
She's very dead.
Okay, no arguments there.
She's not sleeping.
I'm not criticizing or teasing, hon. It was just,
Right now, go for it. But there is no damage to her body. Her limbs look like they are fully healed. She looks like she is sleeping. Almost to the fact where you feel compelled to go look.
check the pulse.
Yeah. And she's dead, but it's as if in
I put
death.
a foot up to my ear.
Thank you.
Oh, I can't hear a heartbeat.
The Little Mermaid.
It's a dingle hopper.
So, with that being the case, I am greatly confused at the moment as to why I got bestowed this wondrous power from a necklace. Even more concerned about the fact that this is the second time that there has been an explosion inside Fort Calyx.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Twiz. I think the first one was his fault too, wasn't it? Or was it
was.
Ront?
It was his.
Just quick question to the regulars of the Dip Dirt crew here. So when something spontaneous like this happens, is this treated as just a cosmic anomaly in
Yes.
the game world, and we're kind of used to this stuff going on? Or because right now William would be exceedingly suspicious of this.
She's tying it into the story.
Every
With that
DM
voice
is
that you heard.
every DM is handling it differently.
Okay.
Some DMs are like, okay, it happened, and as far as in-game goes, the damage is there, but we're just moving on, and it's not concerning. I'm doing it as this is something that has recently begun happening across the world. It is the third time fourth, because two in Silas.
2 in Silas and 2 in Calyx.
Okay, is William aware that this stuff other occurrences have happened?
Your party has told you, and technically your character was there for one, even though your body was not present here.
Okay. Alright, so I just trying to figure out what William's reaction.
Yeah,
the
time
one that you were present for but weren't here playing yet, you actually saw a woman in white standing on a rooftop.
Yes.
Okay.
Barefoot, looks like just in a chemise.
Okay.
And she was quite lovely. And this time you heard this light feminine laughter, but you and Rogath heard this.
Yeah, it was for me. Does that laughter sound familiar? Or is it different enough?
The feminine one did.
Was that?
The feminine one did. The dark beneath it did not.
Okay.
We don't have any arcane casters with us, do we?
No.
Not yet.
Mormon.
She's not with us.
Mormon,
Right.
but she is. Yeah,
I mean,
she
if
is
you
with
consider, if
the
you consider
ogres.
Ranger's arcane magic, I'm learning it, but I haven't acquired.
I guess I'm thinking like a scholarly type.
Erebus would be the closest as a Vistani, but in character you wouldn't know that. In character you would know that arcane magic users typically don't live long. Wizards, they're very rare, but most of them either become laundress or they become advisors or something of that nature. Sorcerers are kind of talked about in a hush tone. Anyone that has arcane magical abilities that is not learned from books is automatically deemed a witcher warlock of sorts.
Gotcha.
And typically doesn't make it very long.
Okay, so in terms of William's reaction to this, suddenly, Twiz, it's probably something that really he's going to be like, okay, now this happened again. He's just making a mental note of it. Let's, we did the healing. All right, there's nothing we seem to be able to do about it at this time. So, we'll move on and just make mental notes of it. So let's make sure we will go requisition. 30 days of rations each for the group of 5. And so that's a total of 150 days rations. And
how are you going to carry all this?
it can all be dry rations. Everybody's going to stuff it in a pack. Everybody's going to buck up and be a good soldier, whether you are or not. I don't care. You're going to carry your weight. You're going to carry your pack, and we better get moving.
Bossy.
Yeah.
Just for you, Twiz.
Hey! Thank you for the cheers, Bard in the North.
Oh, goodness.
So as long as so let's get all those rations together in backpacks, sling bags, sacks, etc. Any other equipment that anybody needs, for this journey. Make sure everybody has 2 other things we want to make sure that everybody has, regardless of what you have right now. Make sure everybody has a pair of lace-up sandals. And I mean sandals because when you're traversing over wet terrain, you want something that's going to drain. Okay? So everybody needs a pair of lace-up sandals and then a spare pair of shoes or boots. And it goes without saying that, socks, extra socks, etc., etc., etc.
You're going to see a very bored look on Eric's face.
Bored,
Make
I
sure
don't
not
care.
so that
Everybody
much.
requisition
And not in a condescending way. It's like, I've been through this. Yes.
And you
Can we move
realize
on,
that
please?
I'm just
as you're saying this, Eric's grinning and just kind of opens a part of his pack, and it looks like he is very much equipped for, in fact, a swamp.
Traveling through this.
okay. Well, I don't know what everybody
Right,
has.
no,
So I'm
I'm
just
just-
making sure everybody's
Right.
got.
That's why I'm giving you that.
Stuff
Eric just
here.
kind of gives you
We're-
that look of, okay, here.
Trying to convey that he wasn't being rude, he's just prepared. Okay.
So everybody needs a length of rope. And if you already have this stuff, don't worry about making a note of it. I'm just for those that don't.
Yeah.
So
Everyone in Fort Calyx is, looking. They are willing to lend the supplies. They have them. Your father kept Fort Calyx very well stocked. Your younger brother is going to be brought to Calyx.
okay.
And your younger sister is begging your permission to come as well.
No.
That was quick.
Nope.
She
Absolutely
scrawls
not.
in the note, P.S. I'll bring the dog. We'll be fine.
Don't care. Don't come.
I'll come anyway.
Apparently the DM doesn't care.
Then her fate's in her own hands. So
I'm also going to say a small prayer over the body of the laundress.
Oh, speaking
Noted.
of that, I would like to grab one of the other soldiers while he's making all of this happen.
Yeah.
Seeing as I feel I'm already prepared. While he's doing this, I'm going to grab one of the other soldiers and I'm going to take Isa and lay her next to his father.
When you do so, Benjamin Cuthbert's body changes.
Again?
And it also looks like all the bruises, the scars, everything that he endured that caused his death went away, and he looks as if he is just in gentle repose, resting peacefully. I mean, he's dead, but
He looks pretty.
he looks good for a dead guy. Somehow being in proximity to
that's interesting.
the laundress in death, there's something there.
That's interesting.
That wasn't there before.
That Made your guys' job easier.
We need to Loxley, Teresa. I'm guessing your knowledge on this is probably superior to most of the rest of us. I would think that it would behoove us to have some kind of way of dealing with the insects. Lavender, tansy, garlic, so forth. And if possible, do we have access to any kind of dried citrus? Oranges, lemons, limes, whatever.
There is very little as far as citrus. That's one of the reasons that the humans had gotten so friendly with the Loxlies.
Mm-hmm.
Is one, for their honeybees, and two, for... You quite alright, Sam?
Yep, I'm good.
We never should have left that wolf sound.
Stop.
No.
Stop.
Make me.
Please.
Okay. You know, Thaco, you wanted people to see what we're like in real life, and they're getting really good.
No, she's finally succeeded on her mission. Without saying my name at all this morning when we stopped at Starbucks before leaving town. We stopped and the barista knew Gab's name. And I got my coffee and it said Sam on it.
We took a picture.
While they're doing that, I would like to go and visit some of their storage.
Okay.
And I want to see if there's anything that I might be able to procure to assist in my slowly growing collection of poisons.
Okay. Before you leave to do that, hey, Vamp Knight. Nerevis looks at you. I do not know how many of these people will react to me being in this form. I think it best if... And then she bloops into raven form and...
She bloops. Bloop.
I'm just... whatever. If it makes you...
I don't know what
Nerevis
that
turns
was.
into blue and she becomes a raven. I'm going to just...
That is not the noise I intended to come out of my mouth.
Good name?
Where is Michaela?
She's upstairs.
If you're going to bed...
Tell her to come downstairs and she can just chill on the couch for the last hour.
Can we hang out for a bit more?
If you're going to bed...
Well, can I stay up later, please?
What do you think?
Probably ask that question before you say goodnight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Joe.
And that was caught on camera.
Which is great, and the reason she's saying I'm sorry is because we were in Taekwondo class working on chokes,
Get out of here.
and she sunk one on him so good.
She almost put me down.
Yeah, it was. She goes, okay, so I put my arm here, and she cinched it, and it sat just right, and I watched his face go,
Arms.
and I'm like, I was so impressed, I forgot to tell her to let go for a second.
All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I'm getting fuzzy-headed.
So, to answer your question, Sir William, I, in fact, have both tansy and lavender. Not a lot, but I also have a list of herbs.
The
that I've
DM
been-
started on doing herbs more specifically, and then
Because I've made it a point to be collecting them.
it got brought to my attention that it was in fact very time consuming to do that, so I haven't done it since. But
So
I enjoyed it.
Teresa and Eric, between the two of you, your knowledge of the natural world, do you think it's reasonable to assume we can gather some of this stuff as we go along too?
It would be difficult to get some in the swamp, especially if you're looking for something like garlic. But there are many different roots and flowers and whatnot that we can use throughout the swamp that may assist us in avoiding the plague of insects out there.
Awesome.
And before we get there, I can search for more.
Yep, that's all I'm wondering. Whatever we can kind of glean as we go along. Awesome.
There are definitely tools to use in the swamp to help us out. There are critters out there that make it so that we can get the bugs to go in a different direction.
Even better. Once we've got everything gathered up, then let's.
But yeah, I do want to take a moment to raid the stores and see if I might be able to procure anything to help create poisons, whether it be powdered or otherwise.
The priestess of Lyrical is from the town of Finley, originally. Is that rain or just wind?
That's the toilet upstairs.
So rain,
right.
it's rain after a fashion.
Just saying.
I want to go home now, guys. I never should have left Garrison.
It's a whirlpool.
Hello, indoor plumbing.
I'm so tired.
All I can think of now is the scene from Little House on the Prairie, where when the Olsons first get the water closet,
Yep.
and Mr. Olson's trying to install it, and Mrs. Olson goes in and pulls the lever, and it just comes pouring down on top of her. It's clean water, but
This is how it
And
works.
she tells you that
Yes.
while there is not much for citrus, Loxlies have had a lot of luck with fruit trees. Citrus, not as much. They've succeeded, but it's been in very small amounts.
Okay. I mean,
it's not
essentially,
warm enough weather.
do we have juniper bushes and pines and stuff like that headed up in this direction?
Yes.
Okay. Even like tamarack and stuff like
Yep,
that.
there's
Okay.
lots of tamarack. Also, the priestess that's there tells you that they have found ways to grow some herbs in Finley.
Okay.
Even though it's swampier, they've done drainage ditches, and they have coriander,
Okay.
dill, parsley, and tarragon in abundance there.
Okay. You guys understand the direction I'm going with my questions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vitamin C, vitamin D.
You should.
You don't want scurvy?
No.
No.
Fortify the immune system. So, all right. Yeah. Do you find any
I'm still waiting.
poison?
I'm still waiting.
Yeah, we're getting there. I just was kind of bouncing back and forth. Eric, would you please roll me... Roll me percentage. And if you get over 90, I quit right now.
I got much less than 90. I barely got 26.
Ooh.
So you got 25?
I just barely got 26.
They have some rat poison that they've mushed together, and that's pretty much it.
Alright, so I'm gonna have to go talk to White. Walter White.
Okay.
TV.
I'm lost.
I'm not going to bother with the rat poison if that's all that's really accessible. I still have quite a bit of poisons on my person.
The priestess of Lyrical, when she hears you talking about poisons, she does motion for you to come aside, and she gives you roll me a d4 because I love you and I'm throwing you a bone. 2. You get 3 vials of what looks... What do you want? A pencil?
3 vials of.
It's good that I can read minds. Just, of what looks like powdered flakes. And she says that it is a poison that her father actually developed. He works a lot with the plants of the area. That's why she's so familiar. It's made from local mushrooms and a root of a tree. and he calls it the drunkard's friend. She doesn't know why. That's just what it's called. But it will give you the same... It has the same effect as drunkenness on the human body. When these flakes are put in a drink, they dissolve. They give it a bit of a bitter taste, but it dissolves in the drink, and it will make someone inebriated and makes them more inclined to tell you the truth of a situation.
So not iocane powder.
It is not, in fact, iocane powder.
I'm still working up an immunity to that.
I have a resistance to iocane powder.
Alright, so I will add that to my stock. And then gather back up with the rest of the party. With Nerevis on my shoulder.
And she speaks to you telepathically. At least we can still communicate like this.
This is true.
We need to talk eventually, Eric.
This is true. Number 3.
I know.
Okay.
Do you speak the common tongue?
No.
Do you know any other words other than no?
No.
Yes.
Back when that show was still good. Okay, so I'm not salty about that at all.
Nope, not at all.
Alright, the fort is pretty much righted itself. There are riders consistently going back and forth between the Cuthbert estate and the fort. They have sent riders to Silas to request aid from the capital as well as to let them know what is going on.
I am also going to write a letter detailing the account of the Laundress's final moments from the battle with the Lich to her deathbed.
Perfect. You do get oddly enough, mail comes from the capital the next day. I'm just going to say 2 days have passed by the time you're able to get all the supplies together. The fort's back in order, unless anyone has an objection to this. Okay.
Sounds good.
Parisa,
So 2 days
you
have
get-
passed, then
Yes. So everyone's back at full health, has their spells. Parisa, you get mail.
you got that.
From a certain captain of the guard, desperately inquiring after your well-being after hearing that Calyx was under attack.
Yes, Ron, there are hot shingles in the attic.
I just got a letter. I wonder who it's from.
And it's very heartfelt and sweet. And he offers to request for personal leave if you need. Whoa! See, Gazelle, you remembered
I think
You remembered!
I think that somebody is just salty that after their time in the springs at the Temple of Hylor.
Yeah, back off, Dave.
No, it's Phil.
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 That
Phil.
bastard.
Super salty. Oh,
You know,
I can't
and
like lean
basically-
like that. That's right.
Says if there's anything that you need, just to let him know, and he has been concerned for your safety since you left, and he will be checking in on your mother from time to time, and yeah, like he's a good guy. Turn your new boyfriend.
I will take the time to correspond back
Okay.
and
Just one word. Aww.
No, it's 2 words. Oh yeah.
as long as it's not from room.
Zoom zoom. We'll tell you about that later off screen.
Oh, it's a freshwater sea.
No, Ron, she found the farm boy. and we're teasing her mercilessly because of it.
Wait, what?
So, Eric, in this time, in these 2 days, are you going to have a chat with Nerevis?
Not yet. I said when we were on the road and everything was taken care of.
Fine, have it your way.
It's because the notebook is red, Vamp Knight, so it's reflecting off of my skin, so it's making me look more red.
Yeah, no, anyone who knows you knows the exact shade of red you are right now. Let's just be clear. So, moving forward, 2 days have passed. You are all provisioned and ready to go. The priestess of Lyrical, whose name is Adara, because I can't think of another name right now, and that one was in front of my mind, has gone to the village, or sent missive to the village, and they do in fact have a fishing vessel they can spare. It's more of, it's a raft with a shack on it, is the kindest way I can put it. They've never had it out overnight. It's the camera. It's logs put together that are floating, and it's not. Stop! I heard that come out of my mouth.
It's a log raft with a shack on it.
I heard how dumb that sounded, and I realized how tired I am.
A log floating in the water.
Can someone take over for
Log floating in the water.
Shut up, I will throw something at you, I swear. But you know what I mean, it's the, they used rope and pins to, okay, that's what I was trying to describe, and it came out, logs are floating in the water.
There's something in the water.
Sloop.
Alright, let me considering the status of our GM,
She's broke. You're gonna have to give it 5 minutes.
about how many people will fit on this thing comfortably?
Will we be able to grab the horses?
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
The horses.
No horses. Okay.
The horses will not.
Will the
fit on this.
four of us get on it just fine?
Yes.
Okay.
Assuming Nerevis is in bird form, you guys should be okay. It's.
Well, one other thing is, I mean, do any of us have any kind of water vessel skills? I mean, I want something big enough that we can have. We're gonna need some laborers, some hirelings to take and.
They also have.
This sucker.
There is a canoe as well.
Like a large Montreal.
Yeah.
Like
Can
30.
we fit 4 people on it?
It's a 2-person canoe.
Okay, so it's not. Okay.
It's a slightly enlarged kayak. I didn't get a chance to research this.
Did it float in the water?
It's a floating kayak.
Is logs kayak in the water?
What just stab me? Yoda just stabbed me.
Yoda stabbed you in the butt. Okay.
That's a sign.
In the butt you will be stabbed, yes.
I just need a hand to be able to stick around. That's it.
Stab you in the butt, they will.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to make our way to the fishing village one way or the other. So how about we get
God, I hope so.
You know, Ron, that is a very, very good point.
What did Ron say?
You live in Minnesota and don't know boats?
I do, but I don't know. style rafts and canoes and how they were made and fashioned, and that is not my area of expertise, and I am not above saying that I don't. Shut up, we know you know.
We all know.
Stick it with the pointy end. Because apparently I can cut pool noodles, because never mind.
What?
So
Oh,
just ask
I am
questions.
upset about that. Cool. I'm going to set that down.
Just ask questions then. That's,
So what does a bloated kayak look like?
a bloated kayak?
Well, two-person
A
canoe.
piece of crap that you don't want to set foot on?
Apple burrito!
Alright, so here, quick primer.
Yep, go
Quick
for
primer.
it. Go for
Okay.
it.
So if we're talking a northwestern European medieval fishing village, they're going to have either, depending upon the local fauna, they're going to have either oiled animal skin vessels, or they're going to have some type of rowboat, longship type of a construction, or it could be like a Native American birch bark canoe. Anything that is going to go further out on waters that are even remotely rough is probably going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 to 40 feet long. A Montreal canoe is used by the Northwest Fur Company or the Hudson Bay was about 30 feet long and could hold 8 or 9 people as well as a couple tons worth of goods. So your fishing vessels are going to be something that's going to be able to carry, if they're doing a lot of trade, they're probably going to be somewhere in
It's a small, poor fishing village, so I'm thinking their vessels are only taking 2 to 3 people out.
Okay.
Fishing just enough to bring back.
So it's mostly subsistence farming,
Yes.
fishing, then you're looking at 12 or 15 foot canoes that hold 2 or 3 people and some goods.
So wait, so this is the...
So we're going to go with canoes instead of a raft then, and just save my poor fried brain.
So this is the village of Finley,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
and we're not there yet, right?
No.
We're still
No.
discussing if
The
that's...
GM is diligently researching historically accurate things to bring back to her table for her players and chat that hopefully will someday appreciate the fact that she is trying to be somewhat historically accurate in her fictional campaign.
In a made-up world.
In a made-up world.
With
Why?
magic.
So anyway,
I'm calling
what we're going to want to do is requisition
Does that
probably
work?
3 canoes,
you.
if we can.
Okay.
Okay.
We'd probably want to requisition 3 canoes. Ideally, if we can fit 3 people per canoe. So we're going to need 3 canoes. That's 9 people. We got 5 or 4 in a Raven.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to need 4 porters. 4 hangers on, 5 hangers on. That we can take and pay them a daily wage or whatever. That are going to be, because we need them to help us navigate the waterways. None of us have any water vessel skills, and there's more to using a canoe and not tipping the sucker over and navigating any kind of rough waters than just hopping in and going paddle.
Especially since both of you are wearing heavy armor.
So yeah.
2 of you. Did I say both?
Yeah.
I meant them too.
So
Druid.
Hey Joe, I'm gonna be a lot of fun tonight.
Druid, I jumped into the river to swim across.
Aren't you still an Earth Elemental?
I'm drowning.
I shoot the gazebo.
So when we get to Finley, let's see if we can get all the 3 canoes. If this is a poor fishing village, if we've got some ready cash, we can probably hire some locals that are skilled, know the area better.
Can pay
Aw,
our way.
thanks, Vamp Night. I'm
Perfect.
not catching
I've
up
got
on
cash I
chat.
can
I
throw
will
in
eventually.
too, so
I can pay our way.
perfect.
I'm
I
afraid
do
I'm
not
not
carry
exactly
That's
in
perfectly
liquid
fine.
capital at the moment.
Between
And then I'm going to pull out my pouch.
Hold on. Say one more time, Rogan.
I can pay our way.
perfect.
I was going to say I'm afraid I'm not quite liquid with my capital at the moment.
Ah,
He doesn't have cash.
Okay,
877 cash now.
that's okay. Eric and I have that covered. So
I may not be as rich as your family, but I can
Stick
definitely assist.
tacos.
this is perfect. So supplies are gathered. Let's take the day's journey over to Finley, barring any type of severe mishap. And let's see if we can get 3 canoes and some laborers.
I say we put shore south of the Void of the Gods in case it's some gigantic freaking waterfall.
Absolutely.
Now, do we want to, I guess, well, we can do that, discuss this while we're traveling. So yeah, mount up and get the heck out of Dodge.
Quick side note, the 3 of you that are native to this land, so Rogith, Parisa, and William, you would know that the stories of the Void of the Gods are that it is, in fact, a huge chasm where the foreign god that stole Marasa was cast down with her twins.
So, like, is it like...
And it was in the sea, so salt water's here. It comes down in this giant waterfall to where you can't see the bottom of this chasm. And then there is a geyser in the same spot coming up fresh water.
Huh.
That is at least what has been explained.
Neat.
So we've got saltwater, chasm, and fresh water being spilled up here.
Yep.
Interesting.
Would it be something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, but except it would be active, not still. And it would be a much bigger,
All I can picture
mucho
is...
grande bigger.
Um,
You guys love me anyway, it's great. You'd miss my antics.
So is there any impediment on the road to Finley?
Finley is not far, and things seem... Well, Finley is only...
so, wait, are we
It should be just over a day's travel.
Are we leaving our
Somewhere like
horses
that.
here?
Yes, except with the geyser coming up one half.
Are we leaving our horses here or taking them with us because we...
No horses.
Okay, so we're...
Horses are going to be... We're not going to be able to fit them in canoes.
Right.
They're going to be worthless.
What she's asking is, are you taking them to Finley to make that journey shorter and then leaving them in Finley, or are you leaving the horses at Fort Calyx?
That's
Or
fine.
are you having the horses taken back to the Cuthbert estate?
I would prefer them taken back to the Cuthbert.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yep, that sounds perfect. I'll make my little sister take them back to the Cuthbert estate.
Roll me perception.
Perception or persuasion?
Perception.
How about intimidation?
You can try that next.
Persuasion?
Perception.
Oh, perception.
We're still there.
26.
As you're making all these plans on the second day, you see a village boy that's moving very familiar in a very familiar way. And as you're watching, they've got a very big cloak and a sack of grain on their back.
I bet.
And the seam on the sack of grain is ripping, and you see a very familiar tail come up and start wagging out of the back of the sack of grain. And you and Parisa just... All of you can see this, it's William saw it.
I mean, my passive perception's 21, so...
Yeah, you right away...
Rogith, you
Yes.
are a big and brawny individual, correct?
Fairly large, yes.
All right. Would I'm gonna, if you hadn't noticed this previously, I'm gonna point it out to you, and I beseech you, good sir, could you go pick up that entire package and bring it over to me?
Actually,
oh
if
yes,
you
you
don't
have an
mind,
idea? What's up?
I'm just gonna whistle for Lufer.
Oh
That's
hell
right.
yes, do it, girl.
You whistle, and the tail
That'd be even better.
and the sack of grain starts squirming, and quickly you see this village boy turn around and try and calm the sack of grain that has now erupted in a pile of fur and is bounding towards Parisa, leaving the now revealed younger Cuthbert sister face down in the mud.
I'd like to walk over gently,
And she's just,
help her up.
I'm here to help.
Take the corner of my cloak, wipe some of the mud off of her face. Aveline, I have a secret mission for you.
Were you that impressed with my disguise?
I am.
Who are you and where's my brother? And like she reaches for her dagger that you gave her, and like she's suspicious. He would never be okay with me getting away with this.
This is gone.
I would like you to bring all of our horses back to the house.
That is
back
not
home.
a secret mission. You are in fact my brother.
Yeah.
How'd you know it was me?
I love you dearly, sweetheart. Please take these horses back home.
I'll even let you ride mine.
What's special about yours?
Nobody can ride him but me,
I can ride him.
if I let you.
Which one's yours?
I'm gonna point to the roan.
Oh, sweet
And,
Jesus.
oh my gosh.
Very sweet High Lord, actually, I should say.
Her
Oh, sweet.
animal handling was a nat 20.
Oh, nice.
As she goes over and starts sweet talking your horse, Eric.
That's right. Give her a ride back home.
And Erebus flies over to your horse's head, and you can tell that she is taking some matters under wing, as it were, as well. And your horse makes a show of acting like he's finicky and tossing his head and acting like he can't be ridden. And then slowly, as she's coaxing him, makes this big show of, nuzzling up next to her and, snapping at...
Fairfax.
Can we nickname him Bill Shatner?
Oh, yeah.
Bill
Yeah.
Shatner.
Okay.
and
With all
snapping
due
at,
respect, Bill.
at anyone else that, gets near him, but allowing Aveline to mount up and lead the other horses. And she's like, told you I could do it.
You are a wonder of wonders, young lady.
Being ridden by someone who's not Eric.
Well done, well done.
But wait!
If I were human, I believe
Rescue
my response would be
911.
Go to hell. Right.
This is the most terrifying show growing up.
Alright. And with that, I want to bugger off.
Let us bugger away.
He was at Berkeley in the 60s.
Did a little too much LDS.
Whoa! Whoa!
Actual quotes.
We just.
Oh, that was fun. I remember that one.
I've been to that aquarium.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna loot the horde, and then we're gonna move on to Finley.
Actually, the aquarium in Monterey Bay, not in San Francisco. That's where I used to live.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was gonna say, we
We
yeah,
both went
we
there.
were there.
We walked on the stairs that Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner walked on.
Mm-hmm.
I shall never wash my feet again.
And then we took the wrong bus home.
Yes, we did. We ended up in downtown Monterey instead of back in Pacific Grove.
Yep,
Yeah, that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
it was great. But did we die?
Yes, we did.
You were young too.
Do we die on the way to Finley?
Yeah.
Sorry, we're
Yeah.
running.
I need a fun boy.
You want us to roll 6 daggers?
Yeah, I do actually.
Holding up
Do I
for
roll one for
fun
Erebus
boy
as well?
till the end of the night.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Oops.
She got 1.
2.
Do you want to use my chart, or you can have your own?
I'll use your chart.
Okay.
He's
How do I
gotta
do
be
it?
strong and he's gotta be fast
And he's gotta
be
bail Hayes in a fight or hail base. No, wait. Stop.
I like what he's gotta be fresh from the fields. I need a farm boy.
I'm done now, guys. This ship has sailed.
I think it's sunk.
Raj, I think we can go back in and edit those looks so weird on stream, you guys. Like, oh my.
There you go.
It's just his sleeve. All right.
Unless, of course, you want to do an encounter, then you just do whatever you want to do.
Okay, roll me, Parisa, roll me another d6, and Eric, roll me percentile.
You're going in timeout.
What'd you get?
1.
And a 13.
Oh, for the love of Hyler. Okay.
It'll be fun.
William, actually, no, Rogath, roll me a d8. William, roll me a d4.
Four.
And you got a 2?
Yes.
She's debating if she wants to put us into combat this late in the session.
You guys are on your way to Finley, and you hear rustling in the bushes up ahead, and Nerevis kind of, who's in bird form still, cocks her head and flies up into the trees.
Yep.
You continue walking, or you hear
I'm just gonna,
bushes
I'm
rustling.
gonna ask her, what do you see?
I don't see. Oh. Run! Run! And you see what looks like a small terrier type dog come bursting out of the bushes, running past you, followed by what looks like a very, very angry badger.
Wait, an American badger or an English badger?
An English badger.
Oh, those ones are cute though.
Okay, it's an American badger. And it's got a Karen haircut.
A what? Oh, a Karen haircut.
Yes!
And it's running toward us, or is it just running across the road?
It is chasing the dog, and the dog is running towards you.
Okay. I'm not going to get myself involved. I just want to... Okay, let's get moving a bit.
So you just go to the side of the road, or...
I'm going to spur the horse on a bit, so I'm out of...
You don't have your horses.
Sorry. Then yeah, stop and kind of back up a bit and let him go. It's a badger chasing a dog. Okay, well, whatever.
I mean, is this a normal-sized badger?
This is a large badger.
As in, like, giant badger, or just a large variety of a
It's just very
standard?
large, and it looks angry. And the dog is carrying something in its mouth. You can't tell what, but you're guessing the dog just got a little too brave and stole something it shouldn't have.
This is survival of the fittest. Let's see if
Dibs
you can
on
run
the
faster
badger.
than the badger.
You know what? It's a dire honey badger.
I'm gonna cast Longstrider on the terrier. And keep moving.
I love it.
So you guys part.
Wolf 9, engage.
Maurice is like, boop, and all of a sudden the terrier's like, meow. And you watch this badger, and you kind of look as they pass. I mean, this badger is dead set on the dog. It's not stopping for anything unless you guys are going to attack it.
Nope.
And the dog begins to outdistance it, and you look back, and this badger literally flops back on its haunches, and this look of frustration, and you can almost hear it, cursing.
It sounds like Yosemite Sam.
Mm-hmm.
And then it waddles off into the woods.
Then he waddled away. Waddle,
Waddle,
waddle.
waddle, waddle.
Yeah, just keep moving along. Well, that was a thing.
That was fun. Because I did your chart,
Yeah.
and then I rolled randomly for the animals off my sheet,
Yeah.
and those were the two I got. Was a dog and a badger.
That's why I like that chart. It's fun. You can do so many goofy things with it.
I like that one.
You helped
Alright.
me make the chart.
I did a thing!
Just keep moving.
Yeah. And the rest of the way to Finley is made without any more precarious encounters.
The only thing we ran into was an angry badger. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Right.
And he wasn't mad at us.
Right.
Not far behind you, you reach Finley, and actually, Adara had gone on ahead, since Finley is her hometown, and she has prepared lodging. It's a small fishing village. They don't have an inn or tavern. I mean, there's like a restaurant, but it doesn't have any rooms. There's the equivalent of a bed and breakfast, but it's pretty much fish for your own breakfast. You know, oh, you're awake, here's the fishing rod, there's the water, kind of thing.
I wouldn't mind that.
So,
Accommodation's going to cost anything?
she insists that they do not. You can tell that she's got some dirt on her face and she's got some working clothes on, and you can understand that she has done all the preparations for your arrival and stay herself.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
She has also talked to some of the locals about procuring some vessels. Yes.
Vessels.
I would like to roll a sleight of hand and reverse pickpocket her.
Nuclear vessels.
Alameda.
Go ahead and roll.
Nuclear vessels.
And I'll roll her perception.
That is my favorite start.
Oh my
That
gosh.
is going to be a 15.
Computer. Hello, computer.
Nice.
I'm amused. As you go to reverse pickpocket her, she reaches out her hand and grabs your wrist gently as you go to put the gold in her pocket, and she leans over. I am a priestess of Lyrico. There is no need to pay. If you wish to spend the night with me, you have only to say so. And you feel flames coming off Erebus, who is on your shoulder. And this bird cocks her head and looks at you like, go for it. I dare you.
I was not trying to ask for a night. I was trying to drop something for tithing. And it's not a gold, my dear. Look again, as there's a platinum in my hand.
And she blushes a little bit and, well, I had heard you were not from our land, so I thought maybe you were mistaken.
I
But
am
if
familiar
you-
with churches.
Not with Lyricils.
This is my... Do not churches take tithings and offerings?
We do it a bit differently for our goddess. And Carice's face is red again. And Rogan is just like... William, you would have full understanding of this as well.
And as she's got my hand on, as she's got this, I'm just going to reverse. Have a good night, dear. And walk away.
And she'll just smile and shake her head and walk off. Erebus is still bristling. Like, you didn't do anything, and that bird is still pissed at you.
I'm going to lightly, pet Erebus' head. Like, not in a condescending manner,
Right.
just like a soothing matter. And I will cast Speak with Animals. And
You don't have to. You pet her and you hear in your mind, did you see that shameless hussy? Who does she think she
I
is?
will
Miss
cast-
Donnie? And
I will cast Speak with Animals and explain a little bit about the Church of Lyrical.
she calms some. She calms considerably. Mara? No, my men. Train of thought derailed. She calms considerably and goes, oh, so she's not a pay for hire.
No, it's... Yeah.
Oh, and then, like, she calms down and almost seems a bit embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
She assumed that she was a soiled dove.
A lady of the red light district.
No, not quite.
Fishmonger's daughter.
And
She's much classier than that.
And where are our lodgings?
in her home, but she has opened her house to you, and she is going to stay with a friend so you guys can have your privacy.
Privacy?
As she was offended isn't quite the right word, but she was
Put off.
yes by Eric's reaction. And Parisa, you'd understand. Rogath and William would have the best understanding of why she'd be a little
Put off.
miffed. Yes.
Because she's not working for the tithe?
No, more of it. Some of it might be a little bit embarrassment and hurt pride.
Fair.
Because she was, thought for the briefest a moment he found her attractive, and then she was super happy and realized that he was just trying to give her money so she could go off and do her own thing, and that's not what she was looking for. So she felt rebuffed. But being a priestess, she recovers graciously and goes on about her way. And then approaches you later, Parisa. Don't laugh, Rogath, you're next. Sorry, I'm just trying to roll with the punches. Sorry, goes to Mother Mesa.
So I think it would be
Go ahead. There's
fortuitous to
Yeah.
go check out our transportation, and as was recommended by William, see about getting our guides.
How late in the evening is it?
it's
Or is it early?
it's dusk. I mean, it was a full day to get there. Dinner is, was prepared. You guys had a chance to eat and put your gear away before. There's 2 3-person canoes that are set aside. Beyond that, you'll kind of have to barter and haggle.
Okay.
That's just what Adara was able to procure. Add quote, don't laugh, you're next. Get in line.
Okay.
The canoes are very well made. They have a little bit wider of a bottom to where they're less likely to tip. This is what they do.
They can also go over the shoulders easier.
I'm not responding to that, Ron.
Oh boy.
I said get him up, and he went and getting him up.
Calm down, Square Bear.
God, jump.
Hey, Thaco.
You need to start beating them off with a stick.
I got many of them in this house.
My screamer sticks, go!
Would you like a hand with that?
My screamer sticks, my bow staff, and the boken.
I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine.
Oh!
That's about how marriage works, ladies and gentlemen.
This is
So-
your back too, isn't it? I'm not wrong.
No, but you are gonna be in trouble.
What can I do? If he's in trouble, what? He's not in trouble and he knows it.
You're welcome. Oh boy.
Moving on. The 2 canoes are in very good condition. William, you don't know a whole ton about water vessels. Rogat, you've traveled in a canoe once or twice long ago, if that makes sense to you. And Krabby, I love you.
Seem to recall travel at one point in time.
Yeah, but it's you're like, okay, and the person in the back steers. I think you're trying to kind of remember what you can. The fishermen are coming. There's a few late ones that are coming in for the evening with dinner catches, and you realize quickly that they have a system set up. So there's some fishermen that are fishing for trade, and there's others that are fishing for the village's needs for the day. And it seems like they kind of rotate.
Is canoe paddling strength-based or dex-based?
Depends on if you're in the front or the back. But I would say more strength than dex.
I'm going to be useless when it comes to paddling.
Is that up your nose?
No.
Things you say to your toddler and your husband. Get that out of your mouth. Is that up your nose? Put pants on. Help.
Oh, Krabby! You missed our my farm boy song. Krabby missed my farm boy song.
Oh, jeez. Alright. There is an older gentleman sitting by the dock, and he has what looks like an abacus of sorts. And he seems to be like counting heads as people come in and taking tallies, and seems to be more in the know. And catches sight of you all looking over things. Oh my god.
That's what I was looking for, but accurate too.
D&D group just for sale. We're going to start the bidding off at $5. $5 for my D&D party. $5. Do I get $5 from chat for my D&D party? $5 going once. $5.
You need to give them at least 8 seconds to respond.
I started too high with the 5, didn't I?
Oh, Rod said $10.
Oh, I have 10. You want to DM my party? God be with you.
With the 5.
Ooh,
15, there we go. 15.
$5 a piece.
Chat, you are the reason that I survive nights like this, and I cannot express how much I love you guys. Even if you do fireball us from time to time. You know,
he's technically a part of the party.
Yeah. The bearded one is included. It's a package deal. Who? Alright, here we go. Ooh, one side away. And I don't have DM advantage, and I don't have a no nat 1.
I don't feel like being burned to a crisp again.
There actually is a no nat 1 on the table.
Is there? Oh!
There is.
Not anymore, there isn't. One side away, again. Which is probably good, because another shot of fireball would not be healthy for me tonight. Can I help you, lads? I'm gonna not be good with this accent, but we're gonna go with it.
We're looking to...
I'm a Bristolian.
We're looking to procure a third vessel.
What kind of vessel are you looking for?
A nuclear one?
One of those canoes.
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but we don't have a lot of watercraft to spare. Where do you plan on taking it? Are you just fishing for a day, or how long do you need it for?
We'll need it for the journey to get as close to the void of the gods as possible.
Ah, you're Adora's lads. I see. Well,
We'll pay.
We do definitely have coin.
Well, I have gems, not coin.
I've got.
We
Oh,
have two.
hold
Oh,
on.
crap!
Hold on. I am in a roll for partitions of the village.
Okay. What about the priestess?
The priestess was fine.
Okay. Oh no.
She's a Loxley. People automatically fall in love with her.
No. She because of her.
I'm speaking as Eric.
But
You know what? If Thaco approves it, I'll do it.
We're doing it the normal way.
If I had power here, I'd do it for y'all.
Make her take another shot.
William Cuthbert would know this, but because of Loxley's,
They have a racial ability that when they come in contact with another humanoid that is not familiar with a Loxley, that humanoid has to make a wisdom saving throw. Or is it charisma saving throw?
charisma save.
Charisma saving throw.
No, it's wisdom save. It's wisdom
Or be essentially charmed or taken aback so much by their beauty that they are more inclined to give aid than normal. Depending on how bad they fail the save depends on the
That's how she got her captain of the guard lover.
Okie dokie. That could be very helpful.
To be fair, she waited till the charm wore off. Kind of.
So can we procure a third
Whistle.
he does not seem affected by you, Parisa,
Okay, good.
which is a relief to you. However, from up behind him you hear, "Alright, I've got the vessels in and hello.
Oh no.
And who might you be?" And this gentleman goes to walk straight past Rogith, Eric, and William to...
Do you really? Do you just clothesline him?
Not quite clothesline him. I'm going to do the whole.
Hand to the chest.
Yep.
He goes to sneak under your arm and misses, and you thwap him in the nose.
You gotta bring him to his senses.
That works.
Hello! A party! And he just looks over at you, Eric, like, "What did you do that for?" And he looks like he's ready to brawl. Like, he kind of...
Simmer down, young man. Speak your piece.
Is that your woman, or can I hit on her? That came out wrong. Hold on, let me redo that.
No, that sounds about right.
I mean, it's not wrong, but that's not how I meant that to go. My brain went,
Well, he's
"This
a
is
very
what
straightforward
needs to
one, isn't he?"
happen. How can I word this in a classy fashion? Nope. Like, those were the stages of DMing. Crabby gods, no!
Speak your piece, man. You can have your time with her later.
Excuse you.
Oh,
Excuse you.
you need me to
Wait,
defend
what?
your honor, miss, from this charlatan.
I'm going to go back to the house. I am not dealing with this right now. You guys figure that out.
Apparently she's turned you down, sir. Now, what is it you were going to offer?
He looks sincerely, like, heartbroken at this. I was just letting my grandfather know that I brought the boats in for the night.
Wonderful. We're looking to procure one.
That wasn't the guy you were originally talking to.
No, this is the kid that was hitting on you.
Yeah.
Well, how long do you need it for?
We're heading to the void of the gods, so as long as it takes to get there.
Roughly, we figure at least 20 days.
Do you need me to protect your lady friend while you're gone?
You know, it may be wise to have you as part of the party, yes.
How well do you know the waterways?
And the old man shakes his head a little bit and he goes, I wish I could tell you that I can't do this accent, I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you that he didn't know his stuff, but he's been traipsing around the edges of this waterway since he was knee-high to a grasshopper. He's the best bet. Although I didn't think to lend him, he's invaluable around these parts now that I'm getting on my age. You're gonna have to do this accent at least once, so I can, like...
I'm gonna grab my coin pouch and just go chink, 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 chink,
I don't
chink.
know.
We can make sure to make up for his time being gone.
Well, gold doesn't buy me fish, laddie.
It can buy you help.
It does buy me goldfish, though.
What else do you use to buy fish?
I know. I didn't quite understand that one either.
I knew I meant Did I really? What I meant was gold doesn't get in the boat, row out in the ocean, fish, and bring it back. And what came out was gold doesn't buy me fish. Why did you marry me?
Oh God, Gravy! That's actually one of those.
That has been immortalized as a quote
So
now.
You have to get rid of mine. Krabby and I both did it.
Oh, gotcha. I'll take one out. It may pay you for the times lost that he was, so you can procure fish.
You know, tonight has been a winner. I got 90 minutes of sleep last night, and I went, hey, I'll just, instead of having coffee, I'll have a nice little relaxing glass of something ahead of time. And no, that was a bad idea, because now gold doesn't buy fish.
But silverfish.
And goldfish.
So will we be able to do this?
I suppose I could spare him, but he would have to be willing. I'd be willing to go with as long as I can help guard your lady friend. Is she
He's
spoken
riding
for?
He's riding in a different...
We will discuss who's with whom tomorrow.
Well, I would want her opinion on this. I'll go ask her.
You can wait till tomorrow.
He begrudgingly agrees.
What's the lad's name?
Erwin.
Erwin.
I don't know.
Perfect.
Okay.
Ben gets it. That's all that matters.
Speaking of the old man, we are going to need at least 2 more experienced pilots to navigate these waters.
Well,
Sound of limb and
I can
Hale and
spend Erwin and let me do some asking around tonight and see who.
that would be much appreciated.
Let them know they will be constipated.
That too.
Almost said constipated.
Dry rash,
God,
probably,
we have hot women and constipation.
a lot of hard cheese, hard tack. They're going to be
It's
constipated
gonna be
too.
rough.
So, if they drink the swamp water though, that might help. So,
Oh.
I
Oh,
got some
geez.
poison.
it's called the Finley squirts.
Wait, actually,
Gross.
hold on. I might have a herb for that.
Rogan, do you
Good
want to
diet, right?
contribute to this madness in any way, shape, or form?
Yeah, I'm good. Just observing at this point.
Yeah, thanks.
So,
Thanks.
so let's go ahead and retire for the evening, and in the morning we can take and speak with this older gentleman again, and
Does he have a name?
see if we can procure 2 more.
I heard Mel in the background laughing.
His name is Hugh.
Hugh.
Hugh. He was a lumberjack until he took an axe to the knee.
Hugh Axeman.
Hugh.
So,
all right, then we'll speak to Hugh in the morning and see if we can get a couple more guys. We'll have Erwin, Eric, Nerevis. I look at it. Erwin will be in the canoe with either you or me.
you hear Nerevis' voice in your head. You could put them in a canoe with me.
Well, Rogeth and Parisa, do either of you mind if I pair the two of you in a canoe with another
That's fine.
guide?
That'll be just fine.
Alrighty. And then Eric, Nerevis, and if you want Erwin, that's fine. Otherwise, I can have him with mine.
I think we'll take Erwin.
Kind of figured, so I penciled it in.
Well, if Erebus is going to be staying in bird form,
Nerevis might have some fun with Erwin.
okay, that's fine.
And then, so we need to find two more. We'll talk to Hugh in the morning.
So you guys are figuring out the logistics. The sun has in fact gone down, and everyone decides it is expedient to retire for the evening. As you all are headed back to the house, I need perception from everybody. Rugged.
That would be. That would be an 18.
All right, Eric,
19.
William,
15.
Barista.
10 or passive of 21.
Everyone who got higher than a 15, you briefly hear a giggle on the wind, and it's that same light feminine laughter, and it's just very faint, almost to the point of you're not entirely sure if you imagined it or heard it.
I'm gonna open up my pally senses.
You're opening your pally senses?
Mm-hmm.
What is the range on your pally senses? And then we're gonna close out.
I think it's 60 feet, I think. Let me double check here.
I believe that is right,
It's
Rogan.
60.
60?
It's 60.
60?
You
Yeah.
don't sense anything. Nothing lights up as good or evil.
Okay. Oh.
And then you lay down. How long do your pally senses last for what? And it's like an hour, isn't it? I thought it was up there.
No, I think it's only like
I
a minute.
believe it is an
Or no, I'm not thinking pally senses. I'm thinking.
Where's it here? Divine sense.
Yeah, Ront, I will message you guys later.
Come with us.
At the last, as you open your pally senses, Rogit, and there's nothing. You go to bed down, and something strange happens. And you'll find out what that is next time when we pick up Nerevis. Thank you to Syrinscape for the audio over break. Thank you to everyone in chat who has kept me sane and annoyed simultaneously throughout the night. Thank you to my players for hanging in there on a night when I have had very little sleep going into it. Thaco for putting up with me as always. And any other announcements? We have Sand and Magic tomorrow at 4 p.m. Central.
Assuming that everything works out properly, we should be doing our subscriber follower giveaway this next weekend.
Woo!
I will make sure to
You're
update
welcome,
that
Jaden.
one. Be sure to check us out on our different social medias: Twitter at Dining Room Dragon, Instagram Dining Room Dragon, Facebook Dragons in the Dining Room. We will see you guys next time and hope to see you guys elsewhere.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
And if you want to catch anything else that we've done prior to tonight,
Yes.
visit us on YouTube, Dragons in the Dining Room. We have something like 200 videos uploaded already.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's... We've been busy. Thaco most of all. I'm starting to see through there. Alright, night guys.
Good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Alright, and
9.
9.